It must
Check
be
one.
time for GAMESCAST.
Check two.
It must be time for GAMESCAST Live.
Motherfucking GAMESCAST.
I should probably start the show. Let's hear.
Meow.
Let's go check out that adorable little kitty.
Oh yeah, let's take a look at it. And while we do that, let's go ahead and say hello to Johnny Right, Pop the Stray Cat, Roar, Fernando 27. Do y'all think Espire is really going to come out tomorrow? I hope it will, but honestly, I don't think it will. I think it won't. Yes, it will. Don't worry. Just Incredible VR. Yeah, it's out in
Australia.
J Meow Meow. Stay warm. 420. The Game Cat. I am not impressed with your performance. Berber Cat. Pumpkin Die. He says everyone's saying is Espire going to actually come out? Tommy the Trophy Hunting Cat in VR hat. Hey, lovely peoples. Hello, sir. Official I Am Chaos. I'm pre-ordering Espire today. I don't care if it. Nobody really thinks Espire is coming out. That's interesting. Benjamin Lee, Meerkat JMC, Robert Sullivan. So how are my best of best friends today? Let's hear it for AJ, PSVR Underground, and Davestation VR. And last but not lost, Bryan Paul without
No,
parole.
you had it right. Totally lost today.
I kept it because I liked it. JP, what's up, dude? Suburban Chicken. No horror games here today. Suburban Chicken, you're okay. And mine med. Hello. We like you too.
Hello.
I'm glad you like the channel.
I
Rogue
love you.
TR,
Won't you tell
the
me
Game
your
Cat
name?
Down Under. Corix, the Game Cat Kyle with PSVR. We're gaming. Hello. Orseek. I am Orseek. I love how he always says that.
Or seek.
Kev Gret, you better strap in, buddy. I've got some things to get off my chest today.
All right, well then let's get the show on the road. This is PSVR GamesCast Live, where we film live every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. We bring it to YouTube live at the exact same time because that's what live means. I don't know why I have to tell you guys this every single week, but my name right here is Bryan Paul from this channel Without Parole. And wait a minute, why did you guys change positions? Right here in the middle. This guy right here, I can almost touch him now. It's AJ from PSVR Underground and this channel right here.
Wash your hands first.
No way. I was like, it's disgusting. And then that guy in the far left is Dave from Davestation VR, aptly named YouTube channel.
Yeah, good time for this too.
Don't tweet me! What are you?
We've got a 2 pound. Jeez, that's so long. This is so long. Okay. And I know we were going to get a new thing.
We are getting a
for
new
sound
thing.
effects. Okay, well,
Next week.
it's too late now.
PSVR
Robert
next
Bacon,
week.
2 pounds. What a month it's been for PSVR. Take my cash now. And you're right, it's been a crazy month.
Yeah, thank you so much
Thanks
for the
for the
donation.
donation.
We really appreciate it. It has been an insane month. Hopefully, we're going to be able to cover some of that during this show. But man, I will tell you from a personal standpoint, I feel like I've never hit the ground running so hard as I did over the last 2 weeks. Just like, review after review after review, and then even games I haven't had a chance to review yet. Like I'm just playing nonstop. When it looks like nothing's happening on the channel, it's because I played Deemo for 10 hours straight yesterday. Like that's what's going on behind the scenes. So there's always a lot of stuff to talk about. Guys, thank you very much for joining us today. Everybody out there, make sure you hit us up on patreon.com/withoutparole
Games.
for $1 or more every single month because you like us almost as much as we love you. Also, make sure you change your name to GameCat. Make sure you do some viewer takeover stuff. There's so many things to talk about. And obviously, we hit 50,000 subscribers since the last time we all saw you. And there will be a special little video for that later submitted to us from jdow/jmeow/Justin Sadowski. Thank you to everyone involved in that project. All right, you guys, I don't want to waste any more time. We have so much to talk about. AJ, what are we going to do? How are we going to start off our discussion this week? What is the news story that we want to start this epic, ridiculous show?
My goodness, Bryan, we're going to be flying by the seat of our pants today. All these announcements got me more messed up than a snake in a lawnmower, as good old Refmania would say.
Is that something he says?
That's a new term that he taught me, yes, and it's my new favorite thing. We have got 17 items today, including new games that we have release windows for. Finally, got some more details on them as well, so cannot wait. Real quick, though, if you want to be a doll and hit that doll for me, Mr. Davestation.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like there's a few going on here.
Yeah, sorry.
Who gave you the right to squeeze me?
And that first one's going to be from Phoenix Can't Animate that says, with the $2 donation, says, good day, gamers. Good day to you. Good day to everybody joining in. We love you so much. Thank you guys so much for being here. We've got some great stuff to talk today. And that's going to be Robert Bateman once again with a 2 donation saying, "Don't change the donation sound, damn you, Dave." Yeah, I've heard a lot of people saying, "Don't change the donation sound."
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like this next one. Hit me again, Dave. Cole Rob. One was funny. Cole Rob, the corny game cat, meow, with the $4.99 donation says, "Reminds me of Castlevania." He is, of course, poking fun at me because everything reminds me of Castlevania. And really, if the world was a better place, everything would remind everyone of Castlevania, because who doesn't love Castlevania? But for the news today, we are going to be starting with a possible leak of the PlayStation 5 regarding its price, some of the details of the hardware, and that's going to be basically, there was some rumors, some leaks apparently, and it's saying that it's going to be launching at, you ready? November 20th of 2020, which we already know it's during the holiday season in North America, for the price of $4.99. I really want to see what you guys think of that price. Personally, I think it's pretty good. Also, just one side note, it's also supposed to be rumored to be coming with a 2 terabyte SSD as well.
So wait, can you give me those details one more time? It's November 2020, which is sort of what we expected, right?
Right, holiday 2020, which they've already confirmed, so we know it's in that window.
Yeah, no, November, I think, has been their launch window roughly for the last couple.
Yeah.
And they said $500.
$500, $4.99.
Yeah, this is all right in line with exactly what I would expect. This is, if you were to say, Brian, what month and how much would this cost? These are exactly the 2 things I would tell you. Yeah, that sounds great to me, man. I'm totally down.
Yeah. Let us know in the chat. You guys going to be buying day one? Are you a day one adopter? Or are you just going to let us play test it for you and tell you what all the kinks? Most of the chat seems to be liking the $4.99 price. I totally agree. Very excited about that. Dave, you excited?
I am. Sorry. It's one of those nights. You guys, if you've been around for a while, know occasionally I have to work on Thursday nights. So I'm actually looking at an email that I just got. I'm sorry, but I am excited about the PlayStation 5. I swear. And
Dave is
price point.
Dave is going to have to duck out a little early tonight, but we have a very special guest lined up that we can't wait to reveal.
Special is the word that comes to mind when I think of him too.
Obviously I think they said the press conference is going to be late January, early February, late February, something between January and February, that we will have the official announcement from Sony themselves, most likely in the form of some press conference or another state of play. So more details then, but I love the $4.99 price point, just like you guys, and I cannot wait to get my hands on that sweet old PS5.
Yeah, the thing
in other news, sorry.
No, the thing is with the price tag, if anybody's like, obviously $400 was the sweet spot for a while now. With every generation, the price seems to go up a little bit because we expect a little bit more from each console generation. We expect our consoles to do a little bit more than the one before it, and obviously to be way more powerful. I think if they were trying to if they were doing everything possible to shoot for that $400 price point, I'd actually be concerned. I'd much rather have it be a little bit more expensive and maybe not feel the need to have to update to a Pro, 2 years in. I'd much rather put up the money up front than buy a whole new console, mid-generation like we did this time around.
My goodness, Dave, hit that thing again for me, sir.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, baby.
And that's going to be a $5 donation from Duran Fan VR, the game cat, meow, who says, "Much love and respect to all of you on the PSVR Without Parole crew. Fist bump to you." Oh, where's Guyson? Guyson, fist bump to you. I know you're out there somewhere.
Yeah, I just realized how hairy my knuckles were when I did that. Wow.
Duran Fan, if it makes you feel any better, the general consensus is that Arizona Sunshine and Killing Floor are better than Contagion, much to my misery. No, I'm just kidding. You were right. I was wrong. Also, Dave, hit me again, sir.
Duran. My goodness. Jeez, so many of these.
This is going to be Matt Guyver's cousin himself in the flesh. Hugh Guyver says, "Brian, go back to the Vuvuzela sound." What's the Vuvuzela?
Oh, the Vuvuzela. That's I can't make the sound with my mouth. It's these things when soccer tournaments were going on. There was this big thing where all these people had vuvuzelas. It's like the
air horn kind of thing, right?
It's like an air horn. Yeah, well, sort of. Yeah, it makes this very specific sound.
Wah, wah, wah.
And then, that thing.
Is that the one? Yeah.
Well, that's just a regular air horn. But we did used to have a regular air horn. Maybe that's what he means.
There he is. Guys, son, fist bump to you.
That's probably what he means.
Yo, Polish Paul. Lewis Knight in the house. Hit me one more time, Dave. We got one more to get through, and then we're going to continue this news. And that's going to be Robert Bateman back once again with a 2 donation saying, Polish Paul, the special guest. No, but one day we will get Sir Paul on here because he watches the show. He's already here every day. Anyways, you can talk to him. He's literally in the chat right next to you. So, make sure you wave because it's always better when there's meow of us.
I didn't know Polish Paul was Russian. That's the...
This was that more Russian. Sorry. By the way, Polish Paul did recently change his name to Game Cat. There is a Polish Paul, the Game Cat. If you watched the last viewer takeover, pretty funny stuff. I called him the freshest cat in the village. But yeah, so in other news, there was another. Now, guys, we know patents. Once again, disclaimer: patents are not anything to go by. They kind of give you an idea of what Sony and PlayStation and stuff are tinkering around with, but it doesn't mean what they actually are going to keep. We don't know what they're going to keep or what they're going to discard. But I got to bring it up because this did come up recently that Sony did recently file a patent for the new DS5 controller, and it was showing the most significant thing about it. Usually I wouldn't care, but everybody seemed to really be like, huh? Because it has no light bar. So we already know about the haptic feedback they're messing with. We already know about the other things. I personally don't really sort of care because I feel like maybe you can use the DualShock 4 with the PS5, or there's going to be some sort of inside-out tracking for the controller instead, or there's just going to be a whole new controller in general. So I don't know what you guys feel about that, but yeah, that patent was recently filed by them. And yeah, you think it's going to have a light bar or no?
It's tough, man. I mean, I obviously really wanted to have a light bar just because, they're talking about all this, backward compatibility, and it just doesn't make sense to not have one. It's like that's such a huge hurdle, such a huge workaround. When they did the PlayStation Vita TV, do you guys remember that when they tried to make the Vita games compatible with television?
Yeah.
But then, But then there just wasn't like you weren't able to do certain things very easily. You have to hold down buttons to access the back touchpad and stuff. It's like, why make things more difficult for your backwards compatibility? Something that you're actually selling the system on. I don't understand why they'd remove a feature like that. I mean, I know it wasn't the greatest feature to begin with, but for people who refuse to buy Move controllers, then it's kind of necessary.
Well, yeah, and there's the thing, too, where certain games totally rely on it. Like, you couldn't play Astrobot on a PS5 if it doesn't have a light bar.
Or static, right? Yeah.
Yeah, static. Like, all those games that sort of use the controller in fun ways, what do we do with that, when we get to PS5? So I'm very curious to see how that plays out.
Yeah. You guys want to stop for a second? Did I miss the David Moore tip?
Yeah, we missed it. Come on, Dave.
And I'm almost done with my email. I swear I'll start paying attention after this.
You taking this one, Bryan?
I can totally take this one. I'm like totally off my game today. I apologize. David Moore with the $4.99 donation says, any thoughts on Half-Life being only PC VR, coming to PS5 maybe? You guys are great. Keep it up. David, can you mute your mic when you type?
Oh, that was the first time I hadn't muted it. I'm sorry. I'm almost done.
I'm not watching the video right now, so it was like extra distracting. As far as David Moore's comment goes, man, I mean, I would say definitely expect this next generation. We don't know what kind of deals are happening behind the scenes. We don't know how any of this works. Tons of we've got exclusives that we don't know why are exclusives. We got games that we thought were going to be exclusives that ended up not being exclusives. So anything can happen with Half-Life. They've got a decent history with PlayStation, so it's possible. So let's hope so. Let's hope.
I think we're going to see an exclusivity window for a while.
Yeah.
Like a year or something, maybe. Because it's not like Half-Life immediately came out on PlayStation the same time it came out on PC. So I wouldn't be surprised if at some point, once they've got enough people into the VR landscape with their new stuff, they're like, okay, well, we'll give it to PlayStation 2. I don't see why not. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't want it on PS4 anyway. Like honestly, like just
no, it looks too good. Looks way too good.
Yeah, there are certain games that I just like. By all means, let's we'll weather the next year together, and then when PlayStation 5 comes out, it's like okay, now drop Fallout 4, now drop Half-Life. What's it called?
Alyx.
Alyx. Yeah.
Alyx.
So I mean and then we can play those games properly, the way they're meant to be played, the way they're meant to look, and hopefully with some new controllers as well.
I just want to know if you can mod it and turn it into Counter-Strike VR, because I would love that.
Actually, here's the thing. On PlayStation, this might not be a thing, but on PC, they already said the engine that they built this in is going to allow people to create their own levels and share them online.
Nice.
So people can recreate anything in this engine, which looks like a really cool idea. And all the stuff that they came up with for VR interactions that's new to this game will be part of that toolbox. So, I mean, if you're a PC VR player, that's like a huge... I mean, the community is going to go wild with that thing. So.
Kyle PSVR says they're still getting a bunch of hate for it being a VR-only title.
Good.
And, good. You know, I don't really care. Like, you know, good on them. They need something
I was looking for the hate, and I couldn't find it on all the forums I was looking at. People were just like, oh, I guess I'm buying a VR now. And, like, that was it.
Well, that's the appropriate response, right? If you really want to play this game, that's the appropriate response, rather than shitting on the developers and being like, well, we would make it inaccessible for everybody. But the greatest comments I saw in response to that were that when Half-Life 2 came out, you had to have a pretty powerful PC to run that anyway. And so they were like, well, I guess I have to, like, you know, up my PC specs now because blah, 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 blah. It's like, that's just how this shit fucking works, man. And I'm proud of them to make this a VR title only. You know, it very, very easily could have been you know, cross-platform. They could have made it PC and PC VR, and I'm really proud of them for not doing that, knowing full well they were going to get some heat for this. Fucking awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
So, yes, good on them, and that's going to sell some Valve headsets for sure. And so, moving on, though, the patent, you know, it's just a patent, so we'll see what happens with that. So, the next story is PlayStation Blog actually sat down over at the San Mateo headquarters, and they had Justin Massengill, who played 4 new upcoming PSVR games. And the most significant thing about these, besides little details that he shared, is that there are some release windows for some games that are pretty highly anticipated, in my opinion. Now, the first one, we actually also got a release date trailer for, and that's going to be Stardust Odyssey, which we first saw at the, the last State of Play in the Sizzle Reel. And they showed off some more gameplay of that. We know it's going to be a co-op, like kind of like ship adventure deal. But, you know, a couple things that he mentioned about playing it was that it seemed like it was very like effortless traversal, like so kind of like, you know, easy to control, which is always a good sign. They also mentioned that it's going to be they project about 10 hours to beat the main campaign. And then there's going to be optional content as well. And then finally, you know, that release date is going to be December 3rd. So only a couple weeks away from Stardust Odyssey. Beautiful looking game.
Beautiful, but they couldn't have done anything to make it look more like Bout of Blood. I mean, it
exactly.
is...
Yeah, exactly.
If you quickly showed me both games side by side, it would take me a second. I'd have to be like, I don't know which one's which. They have very similar, almost cel shaded look. They both take place on a huge ship that you're flying through. In first person, obviously you get your move controllers, so you can not only are you controlling the ship, but you're also doing some first person like shooting combat stuff. I mean, until I get my hands on this, I won't be able to tell you the difference between this and Bout of Blood, other than the fact that there's co-op options and some big bosses.
Right.
Yeah.
Void Cat the Game Citizen Meow says, "Yo, I'm hyped for this one."
Nice.
Beard of Power 666 says, "Whatever happened to Star Child?" Good question, man. I don't know.
It's a really good
Playful
question.
Studios they just released Super Lucky Tail, and they seem to be doing pretty well with that. So I don't know. At this point, my hopes are not very high, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Isn't Super Lucky's Tale like a very old?
It's like
game?
a platformer. It's based off like the old platformer, I think.
Well, there was Lucky's Tale, and that was a VR launch game, I think, for.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then they made a non-VR version of it. So these guys, I don't think this is a very big team, and I think the fact that they're releasing other games clues us into exactly what happened to Star Child. They're like, oh, there are other projects that are bringing the company more money that we need to focus on first. If they release Star Child when Star Child was supposed to come out, or in that when we thought time it was supposed to come out, they wouldn't have made jack shit.
Right.
They wouldn't have made jack shit. It would have been put out into an ecosystem that probably wouldn't have been sustainable for the company. Right. So they might have said, hey, let's shelf this for a little bit. Let's wait for some more PSVR headsets to get sold. Let's work on some projects that'll make us some money, like Super Lucky's Tale, and for bigger platforms with more of a installed user base. And
for sure.
And I guarantee you that's what's happening with Star Child. It only makes sense from a financial standpoint.
So the next game that they went hands-on with was The Room VR, a Dark Matter, which we know is an escape the room puzzle game. And, he had mentioned things like escape the rooms are usually supposed to be like a group of people working together. And this is designed, of course, as a single player experience. The release window for this is early 2020. And just some notes, he said like the first level took him, which is like basically a tutorial, took him about 15 minutes to complete. He said it took a little bit of ingenuity and a little trial and error, but they did say that the difficulty was going to increase. As we know, this game is a super popular mobile title and sold really well. So that's why it kind of prompted for the port to PSVR. So that'll be an interesting one. I don't know. This one looks cool because I like the setting of it. But just time after time, I've proven that I just don't really like escape the room games very much.
Yeah.
This is obviously, this is something I'm interested in. I was a big fan of Blind Spot, which was obviously, a recent title. Very much looking forward to Chapter 3 of Blind Spot. This looks maybe like a slightly more polished version of that. Although from the trailers, it's tough to tell. Yeah, because Blind Spot, I think, is extremely polished. So
I think the advantage, I think this will have a nice budget built up from its mobile success that it'll have going into this. So I think a lot like Deemo, which we're going to talk about very soon, it's going to have a nice budget going in.
Yeah, I would be surprised if it didn't, because they have made a lot of money on that game.
And like I said, that's early 2020. So the next game is going to be one of my most anticipated.
You're creeping my body, no!
Oh, but first off, we've got Phil Saunders with the 2 donations saying, evening, gentlemen. Good evening to you, Phil Saunders.
I just woke up like 2 hours ago. I have no idea. Evening. I'm just having my first cup of coffee. So don't mind me. That's why AJ is like totally running the show. I'm just like, I'll pick up the pace.
He'll catch up halfway through. He'll wake up halfway through. No worries.
Halfway through, I'll be like, guys, did we talk about Espire 1 yet? It's like,
yeah. But yeah, so the next one of my most anticipated is going to be Pixel Ripped 1995. You guys, 1989 was so good, such an awesome platformer game within a game. And we have a release window for that. It's going to be spring 2020 for the rumored release window. And you mentioned a little bit about the beginning that he got to play, that you start out in your bedroom. And, of course, we know the first one was you were in your classroom and the teacher, you'd have to play your little handheld game before the teacher comes up, and there's all these mechanics involved. This one starts you off in your bedroom, and your mom comes in, tells you to go to sleep. You have to turn off the TV. Of course, you start playing some more. And then you go back to playing the game within the game, which is like a Castlevania-looking side-scroller, lots of 1995 influenced games. And then there are obstacles in the game that like wake up your mom, and then she comes back in. So you're going to have to be avoiding your mom coming in and making sure you're asleep at night. And then you turn off the TV, and then, so that's going to be interesting, like where you have to leave your game when you turn off the TV. It's a little CRT TV as well. Mm-hmm. So hyped for this game though. Love the 90s. Love lots of games from the 90s.
It sounds like they've incorporated a little bit of Don't Wake Daddy, that classic board game.
I remember that.
AJ has no clue what I'm talking about. I saw that blank look on your face. Okay, somebody in the chat knows what I'm talking about.
I think a lot of people in the chat know what you're talking about. Cole Rob the Corner Game Cat says, reminds me of Castlevania. I totally agree. What I'm concerned about is the whole Don't Wake Daddy situation is way too similar to the first level of Pixel Rip 1989. I was getting concerned about how are they going to bring these obviously new graphics, obviously going from like the NES Game Boy era to the Super Nintendo era. But what are they going to do with gameplay to really mix things up? And I'm concerned that maybe they haven't found a way to really mix things up yet. So I'm obviously very patient. I can't wait to check it out. They're a creative group over there. We'll see what they have to give us. But that's not what I want to hear when I hear about a preview of the next Pixel Ripped game.
I don't even care. I just want to play the platforming portion of it, and that's all I care about. Just like the first one was, just like Mega Man 2. Oh, man, just put it in my veins, just directly, just jam it right in there. Finally, the last game, Davestation, get ready, get excited. The last game they played hands-on is Space Channel 5. And man, like I said before, the more I see of this game, the more and more I get excited of it. Not only does it have that amazing, nostalgic Dreamcast vibe all over it in VR, but they said that the release window is going to be spring 2020. I've been trying to figure out when this game is supposed to come out forever. And now we finally have a release window of spring 2020. And he says he was doing things. It does have like the full body as well. So, and like, you know, so you'll be able to look at yourself in a dress or whatever costume you're wearing. Of course, as you guys know, the mechanics in this game work as doing key poses, and said that it felt really good to like when you do like a key pose that like sticking your arms out, that it would like shoot lasers at the monsters, the boogie monsters or whatever they call them. He said he was doing like stuff like making him dab in front of like his coworkers and stuff, which was pretty funny. So I am very excited about this. And as we know from the last trailer, this is going to feature co-op. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I don't know how that's going to work exactly, but
I'd imagine it's going to be online co-op, hopefully. But if not, it might be some like, you know, it could end up being some half-baked like local co-op. But
yeah, I assumed local co-op. My first thought was like somebody with a controller is doing the same sort of stuff you're doing, but on a controller instead of on the things or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Did anyone else notice that when Dave showed off his Dreamcast, there was a burned disc inside?
Oh, of course. Yes, I have a whole binder of those fucking things.
I don't have a single burnt Dreamcast. I have like 100 Dreamcast games minimum, and like every single one is original.
I got like 100 burned ones and a few real ones.
You spent.
I sold most of my real ones. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I was doing like that pop-up arcade thing, and so I needed
multiple copies and
like,
stuff.
Not only multiple copies, but like people want to play Power Stone 2, they want to play Marvel vs. Capcom 2, they want to play this, that, whatever. And just to buy all those games to put on a free event would have been so expensive that I just burned everything. And
just incredible VR. My dude, the juice is loose, says it's 2 PSVR headsets, plenty of Expo gameplay vids on YouTube. Nice. So he's been looking at vids. Yeah, I've been meaning to do that. Sweet. I just never got around to it. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be online multiplayer most likely because can't really do local 2 VR headsets. But yeah, really excited about Space Channel 5. That game is just going to have good vibes. It's got good vibes written all over it.
And it's one of those ones that can kind of cross over a little bit too, because like everybody has fond memories of that. Everybody has that, you know, nostalgia for the Dreamcast and when Sega was in its heyday and all this stuff. So I've seen people covering that game on news sites, video game sites, where they never talk about VR because it's Space Channel 5. So there's somebody out there who's going to be like, this is the thing that got me excited to try VR.
And I know I've said this before on other GAMESCAST, but I just want to reiterate, this is Sega has literally nothing to do with this. Like they just licensed it out to some other company who's handling the VR port and just taking control of the whole thing. I think this is Sega's way of saying, let's test the VR market without having any risk involved whatsoever. And so if this does well, I think we can probably expect to see them license out other properties.
They've done it in strange ways before, because I'm fairly sure, like 90% sure, isn't Hatsune Miku a Sega property?
Yes.
Okay, so they tried their toes in the water with that, VR rhythm experience where you just shook the little glow stick or whatever.
Yeah.
And that didn't come out too well, but this looks like an actual game, so I'm excited.
Right, and I could be wrong. I don't think Sega had anything to do with that either. I think that was just another licensed thing.
Possibly so, yeah.
So,
Or Seek the Game Cat says, we want Ghost Squad VR. I would totally be down with that.
Oh, I fucking love Ghost Squad. I have that for my Wii.
Yeah, me too.
On the shelf right over there. I love Ghost Squad.
I've actually got it nearby too, which is why I was looking over there. JB says, looks like a party game. Never played Space Channel 5. Well, you will now, sir. Lots of love for the Dreamcast, of course. I was a huge Power Stone fan myself. And Crazy Taxi House of the Dead, Sonic Adventure, by the way. So we do have some more release windows. That actually wraps it up for the PS Blog one. But thank you, Mr. Justin Massengill, for that thing. Doing God's work over there at PlayStation, as always. So we have...
Sorry, real quick. Ronnie Miller says, anyone know what happened to Crazy Machines VR for North America? Yeah, they probably played the European one and said, this isn't ready for launch yet. So hopefully by the time it gets here, it'll be patched a little bit. It's a little rough around the edges. All right.
Davestation, hit me real quick before we move on to the next topic.
I got it.
This is not fair!
And that's going to be Nihilist Nation with the $5 donation. Says, my best Dreamcast memory is playing Shenmue on a day that the snow turns into rain.
Nice.
Smiley face. Shenmue 3 also just came out. God, what is happening?
That's bonkers.
Crazy.
It sounds like it's very much a Shenmue game through and through.
For
Like
better
if you
or for
like
worse.
Shenmue, yeah, for better and for worse, absolutely. And actually, my best Dreamcast memory is Christmas morning when I got that thing, popping Shenmue in there, and for the first time seeing these like crazy cutscenes, this big sort of open world, like all this stuff. It just sort of blew my mind. Now it seems kind of half baked and old and whatever, but it was so cool back then. But we should probably keep moving along because I only got 30 minutes left. So.
So speaking of awesome release windows that we've recently gotten, X-Real Devs, which are the developers behind Zero Caliber, posted on Twitter recently that they were going to have some secret update or something. They did it in a very like sneaky kind of way. And so we checked it out, and they have given us not only a release window for Zero Caliber, but they've got some updates on how the game's going on the PC side that possibly is going to affect how when it comes to PSVR. But this game actually looks pretty awesome. It is very much being compared to the Call of Duty of VR games, and it has a big focus on like hyper realistic like weapon handling, stuff like that. You see them doing it's another modern shooter, and it's right now like a co-op story campaign that you go through. So the update that they're doing is going to be they are currently working on dedicated servers, and they the reason they're doing that is because they're prepping for adding a PvP mode. So this game looks like it's the real deal. Looks like this could be a huge modern shooter for PSVR moving forward. They also said that they're working on other content, such as remaking the tutorial. They're doing a new story mission to continue the story, new optimizations, possibly 3 new weapons. But yeah, they've been working on the PSVR port for a couple months, and they're aiming for a first quarter start testing it, and then the release is going to be somewhere in the second quarter of 2020. I am very, very excited to get my hands on this game.
Oh yeah, we got people in the chat. Justin saying how awesome it is. Dedicated servers is going to make everybody cream their pants because Firewall. They've been complaining about that for literally since the launch of Firewall.
Right.
And I don't think First Contact's ever going to change that. No. So if it brings a fun,
for a while,
addictive online multiplayer shooter to PSVR, that would be awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
I've been hearing really good things about this, but I just love the weapon handling, and this has raving reviews.
Yeah, it's still in early access on Steam. It's going for $25 right now, so I would expect it to be, easily $30 or $40 by the time it's out of early access. And obviously, Firewall is doing great because it has zero competition. There's, other than
it's a great game too, but it has zero competition as well.
Yeah, but not giving First Contact any reason to change things like not having dedicated servers is making life kind of really easy on them. So a little competition is probably going to go a long way towards not only giving us better and more diverse group of games to play, but also getting them in line and saying, listen, we love the DLC, we love the additional content, but there's some core mechanics that still need to be fixed here. Again, I don't think, Dave said they're probably never going to fix that. I totally agree with that statement, because they're probably at this point, as far as infrastructure goes, focused on what they're doing next gen.
Yeah, we could see that in Solaris, maybe,
Right.
that game that they're working
Actually,
on.
Decepticon, is in the chat, and he says FCE is changing when Solaris comes out. So yeah, and they've mentioned, I know they've always given us hints, but they've mentioned before that they are changing, making some changes towards like servers, and they're approaching that way. And
one thing that would be nice, you know how we saw with Killing Floor, when they developed a new game, they took the stuff that they were able to get done in that and put it back into Incursion, so that all the stuttering went away and the multiplayer issues went away and all that stuff.
Right.
If First Contact has dedicated servers set up for Solaris, maybe if there's still people playing Firewall at that point, could be just migrate over to those instead. That's really far out, so I guess we'll see. But
this game looks really awesome. So they did say they are going to be sharing more details on the PSVR port in January. So we've got that to look forward to. This game looks, like I said, looks like the real deal. Looks really fun. It's also supposed to have like really great graphics and stuff too. So them waiting for January almost makes me think, because they didn't say PS4, they said PSVR. It almost makes me think, well, they did say they are releasing on they're aiming for a Q2 release, so we'll see. Maybe not PS5, but
You can't bleep me anymore.
and that's going to be a $2 donation, $1.99 from Suburban Chicken. Says, when are we getting Pornhub VR for PSVR?
never. That's the answer. It's never happening.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Get an Oculus Go or an Oculus Quest if you want to look at Pornhub.
So this isn't all that XDev said, and they also have said that they have another game that is currently available that is going to be available Q1, most likely, for PSVR, PS4. By the way, we're going to keep our eyes on Zero Caliber, so stay tuned for more on that. But this game is going to be called, I got A-Tech Cybernetic.
Fuck you.
Now, real quick, we got another £2 donation. Whoa, that was delayed. All right. Okay, guy.
I love the cough at the end.
Robert Bateman, £2. He says, get onto Espire 1 before Dave fucks off. I don't think we've played Espire 1 between us, right?
We haven't played it yet. I haven't
played it yet.
Yeah,
One thing I will say is I've only
though.
got 20 minutes left. So let's get into Demo and Stolen Pets. I'd prefer to talk about Demo first, actually, but
All right, hold on. Yeah, let's go ahead and move to that then, and then I'll come back to this news of this game. Actually, let's talk about Curious Tale first, and then Demo. We'll end on Demo, and then we'll get our special guest in here.
oh, but I really want to talk about Demo.
I know you do, but we need to talk about Curious Tale first.
Why first?
Because we already have the trailer running.
Oh, Jesus.
And the longer
All
we
right,
fight
go
about
ahead.
it, the less time we're going to have to talk about it.
So
Fine.
this game,
I'm not going to get to talk about Demo. It's okay.
This game was supposed to come out Wednesday, ended up coming out Tuesday, and
hold on. It was supposed to come out last week, right?
Oh,
It
right.
was initially supposed to come out last week, and then because it came out on PC VR, on Quest, everything except for PlayStation VR, but then it got delayed until this week. It's supposed to come out the 20th, came out the 19th. So, what a fuck show as far as like release schedule is concerned, but at least it came out within a week. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I love this game. It's beautiful. What'd you guys think? I already talked about it enough, so now I want to hear your opinions.
I thought it's very charming. It's beautiful in the headset. Yeah. And the concept initially seems very simple, but then once you start figuring out that there's a lot of little moving pieces and stuff to discover to get through this little puzzle box world, it gets kind of fun. And, you're scratching your head for a minute. Like, where do I get the next thing that I need to find this pet? So I've liked it so far. I've only played 3 stages. I think I'm on the aquarium right now. But there's some cool features, like on the aquarium when you flip the switch and you go underwater and everything rises up. Yeah. Give me a little bit of that Astrobot feeling of like when the waves crash over your face. So it's really well done. It's kind of a left turn for fast travel games because after
Apex Construct.
Apex Construct, yeah, this is totally different.
Yeah,
and it's not really Ghost Giant. It's different enough to be its own thing. So I think a lot of people are going to say this looks just like Ghost Giant. But I think
I agree with you guys. It is a beautiful game. It is very diorama like. I got to tell you though, I guess the couple small gripes I had with it maybe was that it was kind of short. The short didn't really bother me that much because it is very pretty for what it is. The story, it's got this like nice like story and stuff, but it didn't really like grab me. I think my favorite part about this game was the variety of levels. Like the variety was really nice, going from a winter place to the underwater place, like you said. I loved the levels. All the little creatures, the little animals you find in this game were the most adorable things I've ever seen in my life. I don't ever say the word adorable. These things were freaking adorable. So well made and stuff. Remind me of a lot of those like claymation, like Frosty the Snowman and like Christmas Carol stuff. So, but yeah, and it is just kind of short, and like there wasn't like an emotional thing for me. It was kind of short. Those are my biggest gripes. But I gotta say that soundtrack is made by Wintergotten, and wow, like if anybody hasn't checked out Wintergotten, you absolutely must. I was definitely floored by the music, most of everything. The music is amazing for some of the levels, especially, and that group is just really talented. I'm very surprised they got that group there. So really, really awesome to see them there. And Polish Paul says that they are planning more DLC in December.
Yeah, Fast Travel.
Exciting.
Yeah, Fast Travel just talked about that recently, which is great because that is really the only downfall of the game. You can blast through all the levels, which again isn't the point of the game, in about just over an hour, I think. And but that's to really take your time. I'm one of those people that refuses to go on to level 2 until I found everything in level 1.
Right.
And this is perfect for people like me because I mean this took me just over 2 hours, I think, to not only sirens on my end solve the puzzles, but also like, I mean, this is the kind of world that you can sit back and just kind of like, you can turn it and spin it and try to solve puzzles and stuff. But man, I was on the edge of my seat, like looking, not like, figuratively, literally on the edge of my seat, looking into this world, peering around, trying to find all the hidden coins or allowance money, and just really taking in, appreciating the detail that, these like little tiny worlds are so lovingly crafted that like I want to really take it all in. I think they're beautiful, and this isn't the kind of game for people who are like, oh, I need to, I need deep gameplay. This is just like a chill, relaxing game. Most of the puzzles are pretty easy, and it's all about experimentation. It's just relaxing and fun.
I think it's just like a feel good kind of thing. I don't know. It didn't feel like it relaxed me, but I did feel like it was fun being in that world. It was very pleasant to look at. I did complete it the other day, and yeah, it was very, very pleasant experience. But it's mostly, to me, it is kind of supposed to be a game, way more of an experience than a game though for me.
Oh, I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, it is a game. You have to do things to progress.
True.
It's reliant on you solving these little puzzles in the environment to move forward. So it's like
I would have liked it.
Game.
I would have liked it to be honestly, as much as I hate difficult puzzles, I kind of wish it was a little bit more difficult or like longer or something, or connected or like strung together longer. So that's what I mean. But it's they were very clear about it being a kind of meditative like puzzle experience kind of thing where you basically just poke around a world all day and stuff. But excellent.
You want to touch everything too. It's like everything.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, the world is so in depth as far as what you can interact with. Every little thing you see will probably respond if you touch it. Yeah. So you can knock apples off trees and pick up berries and all this sort of stuff. Like, it's fun to fool around with the little levels. I liked it.
So good stuff, though. Excited to see more. The other game we got this week, ladies and gentlemen, Deemo Reborn. And I'm going to go ahead and let you guys take this one away.
I want to let Dave talk about it because he was very, very into getting around to this game before he left the show. So I want you to say... I only
got 15 minutes, so I definitely want to talk about it.
Got you, 15 minutes.
So I really like the gameplay. The presentation is awesome, and the music is something that's very different for what we have on PSVR rhythm games, or most rhythm games in general. So it's this sort of... it's all piano-based for the most part. Although there are some that have kind of a rock vibe with guitar solos and stuff like that. But it reminds me a lot of pop-in music. And I don't know if anybody ever played pop-in music, but it's this thing where there's 5 lanes, more if you play on harder, and they just come down and you hit stuff at the right time. and there's a special controller and all this stuff, but it's pretty much the same. You've got these big creepy hands, and you're slamming on the piano at the right time. And it just feels good to play. I like the music. The only thing is, it's also a puzzle game, and to play the music, you have to play the puzzle part. So this might turn people off. I didn't realize when I started there'd only be like one song to play or like two songs to play. When you buy a $40 rhythm game, you sort of expect like, okay, let me play all these songs right now, right off the bat.
Yeah.
But Deemo makes you sort of slowly unlock them, which at first I was annoyed by. As I went on and played longer and started getting more of them, it does sort of bring this like sense of achievement to unlocking a new song, because you're like, okay, well, I haven't seen a new song in like 20 minutes. Here's a new one. I'm excited to play it no matter what it is. And so if it was just a list of 40, there'd probably be songs I skip over and never play or whatever. It's just an interesting way to do it. It's not what I expected, but that stuff is all very polished and well done. I think like the puzzling aspect, they could have done it really lazy, but they didn't. So I don't know.
What if I told you that if it was just the piano playing stuff, I wouldn't have liked it as much?
No, I think that's true, actually. So overall, as a package, it's probably better off that it is this way. It's just surprising when you first dive in and you realize...
What did you call yourself on your stream? You said you were a weeaboo?
Weeaboo?
Yeah,
did I call myself a weeaboo?
You called yourself
Maybe
a weeaboo.
I'm
What
sure
is
there
it?
are people that called you that as well.
Maybe.
I've heard...
Well, I probably said it because I was realizing that all the songs sound like anime outro music or anime intro music.
I mean, a lot of
there's more outro songs than intro songs, but some of them have that high energy anime intro thing going on.
Yeah,
I like the anime intro and outro songs. They're like heavy metal, and they've got like these crazy bass lines. And stuff.
Yeah,
oh,
One Punch.
I need to watch that show, but
it's so good.
But yeah,
can we get a hit, Dave?
Oh yes.
Get out of here!
Get a hit, Dave.
That's for Robert Bateman with a £2 donation saying, I've been a pianist all day. Very classy game. I'd like to interject on this comment and say I actually thought that the songs got unlocked rapidly to the point where when you play the puzzle element, the exploration part of the game, it seems like you're picking up songs left and right to the point where it's like, man, I'm like, by the time I get back to actually playing piano in this game, I'm going to have 5, 6, 7 new songs to play. And
does that amp up as you get further in the game? Because I haven't played for 10 hours or whatever like you have.
I played for 10 hours. And
yeah,
I feel like it's consistent.
More and more often?
I feel like it's consistent. No? From the very beginning, you're standing in this room and there's one on the ground. Oh, there's another one on the ground. Then you play and then you open the door. Oh, and there's another one on the ground. And then and like, Jesus, every time I turn around, there's another song that I'm adding to the collection. And so I've got tons of songs now. And here's the thing about this. I don't look at this really as like an Audica or a Beat Saber because I played through this game for 10 hours and I played each of the songs maybe twice. So that's the difference. I'm not sitting there going, I need to get really good at this song. If you're just looking for a cool puzzle game, a cool exploration game, then the music is just sort of something to break up those big long exploration and puzzle segments.
Oh, but that's like the hook of the game too. I love the music.
But that's what I love about it is that it's two very different games kind of fused together, and you can do as much of the music stuff as you want. You can sit there and master each song and try to get a full combo or a charming combo, and you can do that for hours. But that's not what I do. Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta step away for just 1 second.
But I was just trying to get through the game and try to like see as many of the puzzles and see all the environments and see and hear all the songs. And so 10 hours in, I finally beat the game, and I only played each song like twice. And so that's the great part about this. There's 3 DLC packs on the store already. So if you're really into the music segment of this, there is so much you can do. You can spend easily 30 or 40 hours with this game.
Did you say how many songs are on it?
I have no idea. Idea. I'm working on my review now, so I got to get those details kind of down.
Okay. Matthew Fan says Psycha is the best song on Deemo. Cannon Hawk says, damn, I'm late. So is it a must-buy, guys? Like quirky, cool anime games, you say?
So here's the funny thing is like if you look at the gameplay footage of the VR version, right? The non-VR version, you can actually just control the little girl with the analog stick and run around the environments with.
I actually really like that.
Yeah,
I like the point and click. I really like how they did the point and click and it's like free roam. Like you can tell her to point and click anywhere and she'll go there, and you use that. There'll be like an object that lights up on the wall, and it says like inspect and stuff. I really thought that mechanic was done very, very smoothly.
Well, but once you play the non-VR version, you can see like the stuff in this trailer. It is very much a traditional third-person over the shoulder camera, and it follows you around the environment. And I was like, man, I wish I hadn't even seen that on non-VR, because now I'm like, man, that would have looked even better. You know, when you're playing the VR version with the static camera angles that they give you in VR, it's beautiful and it looks really nice. I love the art design in this. The art direction is amazing.
Yeah,
but then
you had told me the static camera and the backgrounds and everything is a lot like Final Fantasy. I totally saw that when I was playing. Static background, but then you got the characters and stuff animating all throughout it. Andre Waringa says, "How do you think the accuracy is in the VR part of Deemo playing on the harder levels?"
Yeah, this is tough.
For me, I think the majority of it was just getting used to it at first. It seemed like once I got used to it, it was fine. Now, I do have to say, though, first of all, I got to mention this. I've been talking about this all day. The hands, they give you these giant Deemo hands, and those are the greatest things ever. And it doesn't feel so much like you're playing piano, but there are the way you move, the movements in the hands. Like when you hit each note, the easiest way I can describe the gameplay is like Piano Hero, like Guitar Hero, but piano. And the it's more like a pawing motion. Like you're doing this, you're pawing. I do love like there's the gold notes where you like slide your hand instead of
you're
like
basically walking your fingers up the keyboard.
Right.
But all you have to do is just slide it across.
That is a great feeling as well. They also throw in like some percussion, some electronic stuff to mess with too. I didn't feel like I was playing piano keys, but I did feel like some of the similar motions there's a lot of hand crossing in piano playing, and it makes you do that a lot, or at least I was doing that a lot. And that was a great feeling as well. So tracking wise, I didn't really have any issues. I felt like I was more just getting used to the gameplay. It does stop your hands from going past the keyboard a good bit. So it feels like you're losing tracking and stuff, but there is a recalibrate. Dave said he had to recalibrate kind of often, but you know, it's one of those things that may vary setup to setup.
Yeah, Magic actually asked a question. He says, is Deemo, this is something I wanted to address. He says, is Deemo the first good controlling an anime chick game? And the answer is yes.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
Because this could have gone horribly wrong, but even in the VR version, when it's kind of like more of a point and click thing, it's just so charming, and everything's quick and responsive. It's nothing like Last Labyrinth or Tale of the Fragmented Star or any of the other garbage games we've gotten that have a similar mechanic. This works great. It's
not tedious. Like it's fun to play. I think that's what I like about it so much, and why I love like Asian influenced video games is because the things that matter the most, it just feels like they got right. Take this from somebody that like has really no interest in this game. I want to like I've been thinking about it at least like 30, 40, 50% of this day today of like, man, I can't wait to get back. And it's the mixture. The pacing is really nice. I love the gameplay of the piano and the music. I didn't like all the songs, but I do like a lot of them.
There's so many though that like the ones you don't like, it's like, oh, you played them once, you don't have to go back to them.
Right. And you know, I thought this game was very surprisingly soothing. Like I think it's just being immersed in this world and just being like the barrage of piano and violin. Like when you're not playing a piano song, when you're just walking around solving puzzles, they've got this like really background violin music going. And I'm just like, oh, this is so good. And it's very soothing. Like that was the one, I think the biggest surprise to me is how soothing this game is. And I'm saying that word over and over on purpose because games that are just meant to do that feeling, like let's say Curious Tale Stolen Pets, didn't have that same feeling that this game did. Like it kind of had a bigger effect like that.
Yeah, going back to the actual rhythm part of it and the controls during that part, I will say that I had moments in Deemo over the course of 10 hours where I said, you know, where I had the controls down. You know, I knew just how much I had to lift the move controllers up and just how much I had to put them down. And it really felt like some really elegant piano playing once I mastered that. And I think the game does a really great job on the easier difficulties making that happen. I think as soon as you get to the expert levels, things get a little bit mushier because you have to. There are some like times rapid notes in succession, and
Those are
it's
so hard.
It's too
Yeah,
easy.
really hard.
Too easy to hit them too early. And
Yeah.
and you'll see a blue note
Right.
disappear way up in the distance when you're like, wait, I didn't mean to hit that yet. Like that's and then you ruin like a fucking full combo because the controls are, I feel like they're good, but they're not
They're
perfect. They're a
floaty.
little
Yeah,
bit
you
mushy.
can't get it. You can't get it perfect. Yeah, that was my one concern. Is like I don't know how well you're going to be able to like get a perfect full combo on everything, but you can still. I mean, I was getting like 95% on a lot of them too, but so
Some
you
of the
can get
later ones
really
get
close.
insanely hard though. Like if you get 95% on some of the later ones. And this is the thing though, but I also want to remind people that I didn't play this game like a Beat Saber. I didn't play this like an Audica. I played this for the story, for the puzzle elements, and so I played these songs once or twice. And so if I expected to get a 95% on a harder difficulty right away, well then I'm insane because that's not not what I should be seeing.
Leaderboards. It's not a leaderboards kind of game. I don't think there are leaderboards. Does it even keep track of your high scores?
It does keep track of your own high scores. There's no, as far as I know, there's no leaderboards. But if it's a new high score, it would pop up.
Okay. But yeah, the presentation is much different. It's not about that competitiveness as much. So I feel like the floatiness and the controls doesn't matter as much, but it is noticeable. There's this weird thing where it feels like it's trying to strain your hands into this one little area. Hold on, everything just turned off.
Yeah, we can hear you, but we can't see you. There you go.
No, my whole house just went dark for a sec.
Wow. Zero power, but still games casting on.
We're good. But
Backup
it seems like
lights.
it's trying to constrain you to this one area where if you move your hands above or below, it'll sort of like you can't really. And I think as it's trying to get you to stay in this space, it's making the input a little funky.
I didn't have any
sometimes.
issues going too high, but it definitely stops you
So
with the
you
keyboard.
load. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like sometimes when I was trying to hit stuff and come back up, there was this weird in between where I was still like in the keyboard zone and it wasn't really coming back up. I don't know.
Yeah, I can totally see that. So that's
Andre
it. Just takes a
says-
lot of practice, to be honest with you. That I think that's what it is.
Andre says about the controls.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I mean, Brian. It's a great game, but it's not as accurate as most other rhythm games on the more harder levels. In the 2D version, it is though. Completely agree with that.
Oh yeah, the 2D version, man. You can't use the move controllers in the 2D version. You're playing with the DualShock 4, and it's using the left, up, and right on the D-pad, and then the square, triangle, and circle. And so that's your 6 areas of the keyboard that you're working with. And I mean, obviously, super crazy accurate. But that takes forever to get
Way
used
harder.
to, and it's
Way harder.
and it's obviously way less immersive too. But yeah, if you're looking to get like the best score on each song, you can switch on over to non-VR without resetting the game, so you can kind of jump back and forth as needed. And I do recommend checking out the non-VR version for the exploration parts because it is so beautiful. The VR and the non-VR do 2 very different things as far as the gameplay is concerned, but it's worth checking out both. They're both really well done. By the way, I didn't say this. This is like one of my fucking games of the year. Like I could not stop
really
playing
fun.
this. Like 10 hours in, and I don't even want to work on my review. I just want to go back and play more of the game. Right?
You get out of my home!
Well, same to you.
That's going to be original Uber bitch, the game cat meow with the 10 donations says cheers to Dave's sweater. Next level ugly Xmas sweater.
No.
Art. I totally agree. That is an awesome, awesome sweater. And yeah, sleep with one eye open tonight.
No, ever since I started wearing this when it got cold last week, people everywhere are just like, dude, where did you get that? I love that fucking sweater.
You got a compliment of that up in Mass.
Yeah.
From like a janitor or something.
No, just like people all over the world are just like, yo, bro, where'd you get that? I'm like, I got it at GameStop. It's like the least exciting answer.
But yeah. So, Dave, is this your time?
It is 6:59, so I would say that's just about my time.
But yeah, you got to. You've definitely got to. Final thoughts on Deemo. Gonna play it more? You should stream it some more.
I'm definitely going to play it more. And I actually bought one of the DLCs. I should have mentioned this earlier, which is 5 songs, and you just get them unlocked off the bat. So I'm curious to check those out, but I only got to play 1 or 2 of them so far. So there is like a season pass thing, which I don't know how I feel about. But on top of how many songs are in the game? Like 30, 40 at least.
I think I've heard upward of like 70, 80.
Oh,
That's crazy.
I've also heard like 200. I don't know. I really don't
So
know.
it also depends on who you're listening to, because they definitely refer to the different charts, the different difficulty levels, as different songs. So I would say I have at least 40, maybe 45, and that's with completing the game. By the way, when you complete the game, I think there were puzzles I didn't solve. There were things I didn't find. So there's like a lot to go back and do. Plus, getting better at the songs is a whole nother thing.
Yeah. Oh, I got to do this twice more before I go. Hold on. Once for Robert Bateman, £2 donation. He says, hit it once more before you go, Dave. And then we got another one.
Fuck you!
This is always, whenever it's still time, it says fuck you, which is ridiculous. He says caca.
Okay.
And that's all he has to say. $2.
Thank you very much.
I hope you didn't steal that from your sister this time. All right, guys. Well, I got to go at 7:01.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
I will try to tune in as I can.
All right, guys.
For this exciting guest host.
So we have a transition that's happening right now, and what we're going to do is we're going to play a video that was submitted to us by Jay Dow for our 50,000. Wow, you're taking up the whole screen, AJ. 50. I didn't want Dave to take off quite yet. We're gonna transition to our guest host, and but we're gonna watch this video in the meantime. So thank you very much. We appreciate all the love from all the 50K, and thank you, Jay, for submitting this video. We'll be back.
Yes, awesome video, Jay.
We'll be back in just a few minutes. Love you all.
Greetings, GameCats. Rhodey here, celebrating 50,000 YouTube subscriptions for Without Parole Games and Bryan Paul. You know, over 3 years ago when I joined, there were barely enough Patreon subscribers to fill a single page.
Are we able to be heard?
And now look where we are. I played games with people from every corner of the globe. I've met people in real life as far away as Berlin and Boston and North Carolina. It's just insane how this place has changed my life for the better. Thank you, Bryan Paul. Thank you, GameCats. And here's to getting another 50,000 before the summer even starts next year.
Hello, everyone. This is Gabriel. I was asked what was one of my favorite moments of Without Parole. And that's really hard to choose, so I'll just pick the first full stream that I ever watched on the show. And it was a certain dumpster fire of a game that we all had fun watching Bryan play. And it had dinosaurs in it, Art Park. And I just wanted to say congratulations, Bryan, on 50,000 subscribers. Well done.
Yo, hi, Belramio here. Congratulations to Bryan and everyone else involved for your 50,000 subscribers. And now it's time for a drink.
Congrats, Bryan, on 50,000 subscribers. That's just so amazing. Thank you so much for doing this, for making this community. We all really appreciate it. I have so many more friends now with fellow GameCats than I had before, and I couldn't imagine my life without it. My favorite moment in Without Parole history is when probably when Jeremy kept talking about colors during an episode of PSVR Theater. And congrats, guys.
This is Bob Zarkov, the GameCat. I'd like to say congratulations to everyone at Without Parole for reaching 50,000 subscribers. Because of your videos and your years of hard work and dedication, you managed to build up this amazing community. I'd like to say thank you and keep up the good work.
It's Kev Grad here, and I want to congratulate Without Parole Games and Bryan Paul for hitting 50,000 subs. Congratulations, Bryan. One of my favorite PSVR moments was when you were playing the Persistence and you screamed like a little girl, and we were having the best time watching you react. Thank you so much for everything, and I can't wait to celebrate 50,000 more.
What's up, Hack BMX4, Hack the Game Kit, Kenny. Just wanted to say, Bryan and all you guys at PSVR Without Parole, super congratulations on 50,000 subs. It's freaking awesome. Cheers.
What's up, everybody? Clut Reaper here. I just want to say congratulations to everyone at Without Parole, and especially you, Bryan, on reaching 50,000 subs. My favorite moment is from Gaming Without Parole, episode 63, where Dez snaps his fingers and reveals the background of Why We Love. But anyway, congrats on 50,000 subs. I'll see you guys in the Discord.
Hey, Bryan, from Ellie, and me, Johnny Rypop. Congrats on the 50K. Onwards to the next. Take it easy, man. Keep up the great work.
Hey GameCats, it is Nick Nilo here with Without Parole. Happy 50K subscribers. Looking back through some old videos, it seems like most of them were both yesterday and forever ago. But who can forget Bryan's scream on the Persistence, or helping Eurolidi out on the Sea of Memories stream. But probably my favorite part of being a member of this community is, or was, the GameCat meetup, where meeting all you guys just felt like seeing a bunch of old friends. So here's to another 50K, and see you guys at the meetup 2020, right?
My dear Bryan, congratulations for the 50,000 subscribers. This is the result of your hard work and sharing your passion. If I had to choose one favorite part of the Without Parole community, it would be hanging out with all the game cats. So meow meow, and love you too in return. And yes, breaking news, I'm playing Beat Saber.
50,000 subscribers, eh? Can you stand it? I know I can. As a matter of fact, I'm here for it. It only seems like yesterday that we had Michelle hitting the mic and me them low-end frequencies that I love so much. Depth perception. It's a thing. Either way, man, this is your never-ending story. We have the power of Orin. So I'm interested and excited to see where the hell this goes next. And, you know, like always, and as I have from the beginning, I wear this channel, this tribe, as well as you, close to my heart. I mean, with pride, of course. Speaking of pride, seriously though, congrats, man.
Hi guys, it's Madman in Black, the Game Cat here, and I just wanted to say huge congratulations on reaching 50,000 subscribers. Keep up the great work.
Congratulations on 50,000 subscribers, Bryan, and the entire Without Parole crew. There are so many great Without Parole moments, but one of my favorites would have to be when all of the Game Cats came together and watched the PSVR awards show. On second thought, it's probably that persistent scream.
Hey everybody, I'm here with my new friend Sam, and I just want to say congratulations on 50,000 subscribers. That is crazy. Bryan, Jeremy, Davestation, AJ, all you guys, you've done an amazing thing, and I'm just really proud to have been a part of it for a little while. So congratulations on 50,000 subscribers. Here's hoping for 100,000, and my name is Dez, and while I may tolerate most of you, Bryan, Paul, I do love you all. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Bryan, Paul, and the rest of the Game Cats for hitting 50,000 subscribers.
And it looks like we're back. I think.
All right.
All
and
right.
joining us today is, in the flesh, Mr. Ryan from the VR Grid. Ryan, welcome, good sir. How are you, man?
Not too bad, guys. How's it going with you guys?
It's going pretty good. I got to say, thank Christ for that 6-minute video from Jay Dow and all the Game Cats, because it took us about that long to sort out all the audio issues in the downtown.
It was mostly my fault. Mostly my fault.
We utilized that entire 6 minutes. But for anyone who doesn't know, Ryan is a fellow PSVR and PCVR reviewer,
Trader.
live streamer over at the VR Grid. Oh, he's been doing it since I know Ryan's background. He's been doing it since the day one VR with where just the mobile phone stuff. So he has a long history, big passionate dude. So make sure you guys go check him out over at the VR Grid. I'm always there hanging out.
It's also
Thanks,
what it
buddy.
says on his Tinder profile. Like, big passionate dude.
Big passionate dude.
It's my Grindr profile.
Excellent. I thought I saw you over there. All right, guys. I think just to kind of get back into the groove here with our new co-host. Sorry, Dave, you've been replaced. Fuck you. Oh, actually, did we just get another tip when I said that?
Yeah, we did.
That was
I
amazing.
thought you did that on purpose.
No.
And that's going to be still time with the $2 donation. It says, I really need to meet Charlie D'Amelio Shukamala.
Dude,
I don't
okay,
know
so
who it is.
this is how old I am. I have no idea who that is.
I don't either.
But Still Time's been talking about her constantly for like a month now. he keeps asking for money so he can go meet her. I don't even know who it is. Yeah, but yeah, well, guys, I think we need to jump back a little bit. I think we need to have like a little Contagion talk, right? Because
I'm down for that.
Because I think we all played it a little bit, but I think we've all played it a little bit more since last week. So Ryan, why don't you get us started? What do you think about Contagion?
I like what this game tried to do. Like
agreed.
No, like Arizona Sunshine. I love Arizona Sunshine. I actually recently re-reviewed it and gave it a higher score than my initial one. I kind of love what the game did. But what Contagion does right, at least in the early onset, is it establishes that like the zombie apocalypse. When you're talking to your girlfriend on the phone, and then like you turn the TV on, those little subtleties. Honestly, the game doesn't look the greatest, but those little subtleties kind of blew me away. Like so just turning on that TV and having that live broadcast in there, it's a dumb thing. It's so easy
I love
to
that
do.
as
Anybody
well.
can do it. I totally ate that up. It was unbelievable. And I know there's issues with like the melee, like they don't react to the melee very at all. You can melee, which is already better than Arizona Sunshine. Like and not say it's better, but there's just these certain aspects of the game that just kind of nailed what I want out of a zombie apocalypse kind of game. And unfortunately, you start to break it down into the zombie animations and just some of the layouts of level, like items that you interact with. I haven't played since they patched it. As far as the pickup mechanic and stuff, apparently that's been fixed, which I hope so, because that was god awful
For
at
me,
launch.
for me, it was. I know the opinions differ on what the patch did, but for me, totally killed it. Fixed all my problems.
Oh, good. I want to dive back in. I'm looking forward to it, so I'm glad I kind of put it off until this patch was done because, yeah, man, like I wanted to love it a lot more than I love it more than I probably should, and maybe that's just a testament to just how few of these like first-person shooter like narrative story-based games that we get. I know this is kind of broken up into 3 different chapters with a fourth coming, but I'm digging it. I'm as a guy who kind of loves zombies. I think it does a lot more things right than wrong, I guess, is kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I agree with you about the kind of like the world building. Chapter 1 is so good about that. You've got even just getting to your apartment. There's a security guard there. You can look through the window. You can see that there was an incident that went down. There's something happening on the ground, maybe like a body bag or something. Then you're like, oh, I wonder what's going on in there. Obviously, it's a zombie game, so we have a good fucking idea. But then you get up to your apartment, and then there's the TV, there's the girlfriend calling, there's all sorts of different things that are setting up the scene, and then it just like crashes and burns as far as storytelling is concerned. Everything from that point on is just, for me, it's just kind of a generic storytelling. Even when you finally meet your wife and she's got the kid, like the character models are so bad where you're like, ugh, like this, can we get a divorce? This is not how I expected this to go down. But I don't know.
So real quick, we got another $2 donation from Still Time. Says, yeah, about the meet and greet pass. Also, Aceville, the Attack Cat, says, hey, I listened to this dude's podcast at work. Always strange when you get a face with the voice. Swipe. Got here. Lots of love for Ryan here. But yeah, Contagion, good, great. I like you said, I think the biggest thing he said was the vision that the game has is what I liked the most about it. I actually was very lucky. We know VR experiences differ from person to person and experience to experience. I was very fortunate to not have any of the grabbing issues, any of the other things. So yeah, I had smooth sailing on my part, which is why I gave it so much praise at first. And I went back and played it, and I feel like after they patched it, I've started to notice some of the stuff that people were originally talking about. But that being said, I'm still very excited to get my hands on Chapter 4. Yeah. It's supposed to be the most action-packed one yet, and really can't wait to see it.
My question would be is, what would you guys think of this game if you started in Chapter 2 and never saw Chapter 1? If it was Chapter 2, like, times 2.
It would. Yeah, I wouldn't like it as much. I wouldn't like it. Chapter 1 nailed the atmosphere all the way, and like you said, I think what shocked me so much was that buildup of, hey, like you're slowly, what's going on outside. You see the message on the TV that says there's zombie outbreaks or something is going on. You're talking to your wife. She's like, someone just bit somebody else, like an animal. And like, so I love that setup. I'm a big zombie movie fan. And it was just great to see somebody finally do that properly, which I've been waiting for quite some time. Because usually it just throws you right into shooting zombies and there's no story or exposition like that.
Yeah, I have the exact same thoughts, really. Like the opening was really exactly what I wanted, but the game does kind of taper off after those initial impressions.
Yeah, if we look at this like a work in progress, then I think that this is a great place this is a great place for them to start. But I do think that there's a lot of work ahead to make this a game that's recommendable for the price that it's at. $25 is kind of expensive for a clearly extremely budget game that isn't even complete yet. So I'm looking forward to see what else they're going to do, but off to a decent start for sure.
Agreed.
Is that a cow? Is that a game
the
cow?
Zombie noise, and that's going to be another $2 donation. Still saying, pass this to AJDK. Donkey Kong. So, So, Ryan, what else you been playing, man?
Okay, you guys ruined this game for me. So I'm playing Last Labyrinth, and I played the PC demo before the game came out, and I was in love. The first impressions on that game, I was in love with it. I thought the mechanics, were simple, but they were kind of cool. And like I said, I didn't know just how horrific the game was going to get. So when the first time I failed Katya and she died a horrendous death mulched in a bunch of spike things, I was like, oh my God, this is, I thought this was some cute little, puzzler, like, ghost giant-esque with a different kind of layout where you just tell this girl what to do. She moves some blocks around, open the next room, and I thought it'd be dull. So I was immediately impressed. The horror elements totally hooked me in. Then I watched the GAMESCAST, and you guys, I hadn't played the game yet, and Bryan was AJ defended the puzzles. Thought the puzzles are really good. Said the mechanics were kind of not the best, but AJ was the one defending the game. Bryan did not defend the game. He hated the mechanics, and as he described in detail just how awful they were, and knowing what I knew from the demo, I was like, I think he might be right. So then, going into the full game after the fact, all I could see were those flaws. And I didn't get the chance to see those flaws for myself because Bryan totally ruined them for me. And that being said, that game is driving me insane. I cannot believe they laid out the game like that to a point where I love puzzles, I love the horror, and I can't play it anymore. I can't play it anymore because if I fail a puzzle, I am punished unnecessarily.
I liked everything about the game except for probably the most important thing, and that's the gameplay. I think the graphics are great. I think the deaths animations were awesome and creative. Puzzles were fine. Everything about it was fine. Just the gameplay, it was so tedious. And I think that's it.
I'll call your gameplay and raise you an immersion factor, because fucking sitting in that wheelchair watching all this shit happen from a distance it kills the immersion for me. I'm like, let me play as the little girl, man. There's no point for that guy to even be there.
And why is the laser coming out of my head? I'm holding something in my hands.
Right.
Why is that not a laser pointer? I don't understand why they decide to do this. Like, you've already taken out every single comfort. Anything that could remotely cause comfort, you've taken out of the game. Right. I'm not sure why that was the line. We're like, well, you know what? Laser pointers cause immersion, sickness. So let's take those out and just have it a beam from your head. I don't know. I mean, the puzzle that killed me was this weight puzzle. You have to balance these weights.
That's
and
where
you
I
have
stopped.
You have to do it 5 times, and I failed the first time. And whatever happens to the girl, I won't spoil it for anyone that's actually watching and wants to play it. But I failed, and then I realized what I did wrong, so I do it. And I did it the second time, and I swear to God, I did it right. I swear to God, I did that puzzle right. I failed, and the game forces you to go back to that room, start the puzzle from scratch, redo the sections you already successfully completed, and then go through trial and error. It doesn't tell you if you're right or wrong until you activate that puzzle. And if you fail, dead restart. There's no forgiveness this game, not at all. And for that, it killed me. Like, when I played the demo, I was like, this is gonna be 8 out of 10. I'm gonna love this. Now I don't even know how to rate this thing because I'm so mad at it. I'm just so mad at it.
You ruined him, Ryan. You ruined him.
Yeah, all I do is open people's eyes and let them become aware of the truth.
I would have saw it. Trust me, I would have saw it too. But knowing what I knew beforehand, I was like, oh, I think they kind of probably killed the next. The next half an hour could have been joy, and I was really like, oh, I can see what he's talking about. When I was playing, I level by level by level, I was like, oh, I'm doing it. It works seamlessly. The first puzzle, everyone fails the first puzzle with the trains that go through the thing. Yeah. I moved one piece, and I was like, I don't even know what to do here. I guessed. I got it right.
Nice.
I was like, what? Oh, this is awesome. All right, but yeah, no, the flow of that game is so broken, disjointed, and just it punishes for failure so much that it's not fun. So, yeah, that game is maddening.
Yeah, and I don't know how they can fix it either at this point. Like, I don't think it's just fundamentally boring as far as I'm concerned from a gameplay perspective. The death scenes are awesome, and the puzzles might be fun if you were able to control them in a different way. But I think from the ground up, they built this game to just irritate the fuck out of me.
Yeah, she's so slow. Do this.
So slow.
Do this. Yes, do that. Go over here. Yes, do that. Like, I mean, it was cute. Like I say, it was cute in the beginning, and then I can't. I just want to strangle. I want her to die. Like I cared for her so much at the beginning, and now every time she died, I was like, you can't deserve it. Like I'm just so mad at her for being so dumb.
And even when you succeed, they make you think that you failed, right? So that you can watch like all these animations, and it's like even if you're just trying to like move through this game with any sort of pace at all, they slow you down at every single turn, whether you fail, whether you survive. And again, I said it last week, but it really irritates me that it goes to a monitor so you can watch yourself get moved from one room to the next. I was like, if there was going to be any immersion in this game, it would be the little girl basically wheeling me from room to room. And the fact that you even took that away from me is maddening. Absolutely maddening. Yeah.
I totally agree.
All right.
Time to move on. What do we got, AJ?
Okay, so we're going to jump right back into the news. Grid, you're going to have you might actually be able to share some thoughts on some of these things coming out. But where we left off before was we were talking about X-Real devs, how they are going to release Zero Caliber. Have you played Zero Caliber at all?
I have not played Zero Caliber at all.
Okay. So I don't know if you've played this other game then. Zero Caliber looks excellent. It's supposed to be like the Call of Duty of VR games. And so the other game that they had mentioned was A-Tech Cybernetic. And they are hoping for an early 2020 release date on this. And it's basically a game that has two different modes, one being a story mode. And I don't know how long the story is. They do say it's supposed to be like a couple hours long or so. But there's a story mode and then a horde mode. And this game is getting compared a lot to Doom, which I thought was surprising, like Doom VFR. Polish Paul actually did do a preview vid on this. And he says he seemed to be really excited about it. This game actually has some pretty good like ratings on Steam, so people like it overall. But I really like the fact that X-Real was like Zero Caliber is coming, but in the meantime, to keep you busy until then, here's this A-Tech Cybernetic game. I love fast-paced action like Doom, like Painkiller. For anybody that played Painkiller, a fellow Polish one. Polish developer team, but just that fast movement, fast action, lots of hand-to-hand combat in this. I think you can punch and like hit people with things. And he says the story is short, but about 3 hours.
Like one of the most fucking game ass names I've ever seen a game have.
Right?
A-Tech Cybernetic. They went on like synonyms.com and typed in video game, and the first thing that popped up was A-Tech Cybernetic. All right, cool.
First one, it starts with A. Yeah, it starts with A.
That's right. But yeah, no, it does look nice. The visuals on this look pretty nice. I love anything that has an effective flashlight mechanic, and that's what like the whole first half of the trailer shows is you in these dark areas, kind of like going through these corridors with the flashlight. It kind of has this Doom 3 look to it. And man, Doom 3 is one of those games I've always wanted in VR. So if this is going to deliver on that level at all, sign me up.
I agree. I'm gonna have to hit these guys up because I actually backed this back when it was a Kickstarter, and they never delivered a code. But I was so busy, and I don't even think I had a PC at the time, so I was like, whatever. Maybe I'm gonna call them on now because I'm watching the trailer now as we talk, and it looks pretty damn good. I'm a big fan of, like I said, Doom VFR. The second half of that game when the action picked up was so fun with the DS4.
Oh man, once you get to hell, yes.
We're not going to have this conversation right now.
Once you get to hell, once you get to hell, Doom VFR pretty amazing. That's where just all the hell breaks loose. I didn't mean to do that, but
you did.
No, I didn't. But no, I mean, this game should be if it lives up to the action. Like I said, really good reviews. So excited to see this. I'm mostly excited to how they said like the hand-to-hand combat, like the immersive hand movement and stuff. Actually, one of the guys that worked on Stormwind, the new what is it? Insomniac Games thing. He was talking about how his advice to newer developers, one of the most important things are the hands. That this is like your body in VR. This is your character, and how much important it is to have items in the game, stuff that you can interact with. How important that is to have that in the game as well as the way they look. And I thought that was pretty interesting. And this game, one of the biggest features it talks about is the hand-to-hand combat and like the stuff immersiveness with the hands. So interested to see about this one.
Nice.
You know what I want to see more of? I want to see not just hands in VR, but give me up to forearms. How hard can it be to put forearms in there? I'm kind of getting sick of looking at floating its, cousin It from Adam's Family.
Yeah.
I want give me forearms. In VR, that covers like 90% of the time when I'm looking down. That covers what I'm looking down at. I want forearms.
Borderlands does the forearms pretty well. I don't like floaty hands, but yeah, they don't actually bother me as much as they used to. I used to always be like, oh, I need a full body, which I still prefer. But I think Borderlands taught me that I'm totally happy with just forearms, like because it gives you enough immersion.
I'm totally happy. Whatever they do, as long as they do it right, I'm happy. Because again, I always notice my body in certain games that I shouldn't. And I went months, I think, without realizing I had a body in Firewall because it was done so well. It's just like I never even, you kind of notice it, but you don't notice it because it's done well. And so I'm okay. Sometimes when they give you forearms, I'm thinking maybe Sprint Vector. Does Sprint Vector give you forearms? Because I always remember
Sprint Vector gives you full body.
Full body, yeah.
Full body, man. Because there are certain ones where like my shoulders are like here. Like my arms connect right here to my neck. And I was like, well, that's not done well, right? And so that kind of kills the immersion for me. Sometimes if it's done really well, if it's just hands, then great. But if it's full body, it just has to, you have to put so much extra work into that to make it feel right.
It's so worth it, though. If it's done right, it's so worth it.
Agreed.
I'm loving these comments or something. Nick Milo says, still will have IK issues with forearms. Just Incredible says Stormland nailed it on the IK full body avatar. Gabriel says forearms like Immortal Legacy.
talk about a game that I love. That it literally feels like my arms are coming out of my neck.
Like, that's a weird one. That was for everybody. Yeah. And I remember you saying that you don't like the full body, and like I was like, is he crazy? And then I played that one. I'm like, okay, I can see when it doesn't match up why that's weird, why that's annoying and stuff. So, but yeah, really excited for this one. Also, Brian, we need to pick some winners for the Contagion giveaway.
We do.
By the way, we have 3 Contagion VR keys to give away. We should have did it while we were talking about it. I don't know if you're able to search for that or do that, but in the meantime, you want to pause and do that, or can I?
All right, here we go. Let's talk about this right now. Let's give away 3 keys for Contagion North American keys. All right.
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck, everybody. And I got to copy and paste these as I go, so I don't forget to actually give them to the people who won. The first one is going to David, who is David O.
Oh, that's my buddy.
Yeah,
man.
That's my buddy too.
He actually was the first person to get me through Arizona Sunshine. I don't shit on Arizona Sunshine. I just really mean it when I say that I had a lot of problems getting through that game with bugs, and we still ran into some bugs, but we were having fun, so we tried to just muscle through it. So yeah, congrats, David. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, David and I played some Firewall together. He is amazing at Firewall. And he's very polite, very nice to new people and people who suck like me. Next winner is Graham D. He says, I don't play horror games usually because I get overly terrified. Nice, me too. But his PSN name is GRD420. He smokes the pot.
He's smoking the reefer.
Congratulations, Graham D. I will definitely send out a key to you after the show's over. And then finally, our last winner is Kenny Barney. His PSN is Have a Knife Day.
I love it. I love it. What a great name.
These are
Have a Knife Day.
These are some good names, man.
Yeah, good stuff.
Congratulations to all 3 winners. I'll make sure I get those keys out immediately after the show. Make sure that your PSN settings allow me to do that. There are still winners from like 3 months ago who haven't gotten their keys because they haven't allowed me to talk to them yet. Which by all means is fine because I don't care. It's your game. Right?
Yeah. So congratulations to you guys, and we've got some more news to talk about. Lots of amazing stuff to talk about, guys.
What do we got?
Very exciting times. We are going to talk about Honor and Duty from Strange Games Studios. There is a single player DLC pack on the way coming out this Tuesday. As you guys know, they also have the All Out War edition coming, which is going to have some things. He also mentioned a pro patch, which is they're currently working on. So this isn't just like a regular pro patch. This is like almost looks like a reskin in a way. I don't know to what degree. I haven't really seen it. I've just seen a few models, and it looked like new textures, new skins, things like that. So we'll actually see how far that goes. But I am all over this single player DLC. It's something I've been wanting for so long. Of course, we have Honor and Duty Steampunk coming. It's going to be an early launch title for the PS5. But in the meantime, Reggie's not going to leave us hanging. And he says this update will contain a bomber mission, a stealth mission, and offline play with bots, including the ability to command AI allies. So lots of new things he's tinkering with. I'm a huge fan of Honor and Duty, and that Halloween map was the shit, by the way. I love that Halloween map. I played the hell out of it. Yeah, that was so balanced.
Especially when we were doing free-for-alls, and it was just fucking chaos, right? It was like we had 32 people in like this really small map. You'd spawn and just be like, I see 3 people right away. It was so much fun. It wasn't irritating like in Warzone. It was just chaotic, and I loved it.
Man, Strange Game Studios is in the chat, and he says completely new textures have been made. Thanks for the mention. No problem.
Nice.
I actually totally noticed because they posted on Twitter, and he said like this is a pro patch. He's like pro patch in the works, blah blah blah, and it showed like a Jeep or something, and it was like really detailed. And I was like, wow, like that's like a pro patch to me is like getting rid of a little bit of blur or aliasing. This is like a reskin pro patch. And yeah, there's the physical edition coming out as well. I think it's going to be $19.99, I want to say, but really, really cannot wait. I've been dying for some single-player content in this game, and like I'm going to be all over this, man. I'm so excited. But congrats, Reg, on the re-release, and hope everything goes well. You know we're going to be playing the hell out of it. So, part of this update will also add mission objectives such as a hostage rescue, objective demolition, etc. For the offline mode against the bots. So,
Reg, am I dreaming, or did I record some VO for this? Because I feel like I sent you some VO that like, but I don't really remember. Let me know in the chat. I don't know. My brain is shot these days. No, this is for anyone who hasn't bought D-Day yet. This game's $10, and it might be the best $10 you can spend on the PlayStation Store for VR games. It's obviously there are days where where everybody jumps in and plays, but we can always get a game going in the multiplayer meetups on our Discord. So make sure you join our Discord and play this game whenever possible, because when you get a full match of 16v16 player, I mean, it is the only game out there really doing this. It is incredible to have that many players on a map at the same time. Absolutely love it.
Do want to make a quick side note here. Nicholas Perez in the chat. Hello, sir. Good to see you, man. Hope you've been well. And he said there's an update coming to Firewall soon. Wink. So I imagine Firewall is going to be getting some 3D rudder support.
So if that game didn't make you sick, then fucking here's your opportunity, man. Fucking get on a 3D rudder and make sure you have a big fucking kiddie pool that you're standing in, because you're gonna be cleaning that vomit up for days.
The 3D rudder is great. 3D rudder and Firewall doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Right, I got to play Firewall standing. I can't have a disc underneath me that I'm balancing.
But you have the thumbsticks and the aim. It's so, I don't know. To me, I don't know. That one seems like a swing and a miss. But
yeah, I tried it. We'll see. Different preferences, different strokes for different folks. But I am just, like I said, really excited about this Honor and Duty update though, and like I said, we'll be streaming the crap out of it. Obviously it's single player, so we can't meet up for multiplayer, unfortunately, but screw you guys, I'm gonna enjoy my single player.
No, absolutely.
I didn't want to play with you anyway.
The VR grid totally backs. Like we should say like how. I mean, I can't give Honor Duty enough praise. I'm sure you guys have praised them 1,000 times over. But what Reggie has done and the bar he sets for just how to support a VR game is next level. It's unbelievable what he's done with this game, essentially by himself. I know it's not completely by himself, but like pretty much, and it's absolutely stunning. The game is great. You guys have already said it's 32 players. It's got free battle royale mode, so if you're on the fence, go download that right now. But it's amazing game. Bryan said it's $10 worth every penny. It's worth more than $10.
Yeah.
Get it? Well, it's a steal. It's a steal of the game, and everyone should buy it right now.
That's about the best endorsement I could have ever imagined.
Dude, you're preaching to the choir, Grid. We're like,
I know, but it had to be
make
said.
up like 50% of the fan base for Honor and Duty. But so in other news, The Walking Dead. Speaking of zombie games, The Walking Dead Onslaught has been delayed until 2020.
Good.
And they're basically saying that they want to make the game as best as it can possibly be. Do you think they saw your Battle Wake review, Brian?
I think they saw. I mean, I haven't watched anyone else's Battle Week review, but I'm assuming we all sort of said the same thing. Like, what an amazing control scheme! What an amazing, like, what a fun ship to ship battle system. And then there's nothing else. Like, this game is really, really fun for 3 days, and then I just never had the desire to go back to it. It was so shallow that, you know, as comparing it to every other Survios game so far, there's just not a lot to it. I love that they make arcade games, but this is the most shallow one yet. I really, really hope that they're taking the time to give Walking Dead a little bit more love, a little bit more depth, a little bit more replayability, and just making it more fun. Take your time, get it right.
I agree. I'm always willing to wait for a good game.
And Survios makes such good games. I don't want them to run this game. Like, this is zombie killing and Survios, and it's a Walking Dead IP. I've played like a Walking Dead arcade game pretty recently, and it was awesome. It's like the best arcade game I've played in years and years and years. And it's just the first one that felt really good, and it's great universe. Of course, we know this is going to be like co-op, and you're going to get to play as different characters. And everybody, you know, we saw with Contagion, one of the biggest knocks was that you hit somebody, there's a splat of blood and their head disappears. This has like gone to every last detail of like sticking the knife in their head and cutting across their face and stuff. I'm not a big gore person. I'm not into gore, but in video games, it's a lot of fun. Like in movies and stuff, I'm like, I don't really care. But video game gore is a lot of fun. Also, Davestation says, I accidentally unmuted my microphone during this meeting, and they heard Brian ask if he was dreaming. Oh, man.
Nice. Yeah, and now the other thing about this is that this isn't the only Walking Dead game coming for VR. We also have Saints and Sinners, which I don't think has been confirmed for PSVR.
Not confirmed, but it is like seeming very likely. But I've also heard these are very two different experiences. I think Saints and Sinners, I can't remember what they used to describe it. I want to say it was either like story driven or something like that, and this was like arcade. So this is I'm definitely looking, if that's the case, I'm definitely more looking forward to Onslaught, but Saints and Sinners looked really good from the trailer, from what I saw.
Yeah, no, they're different enough where I don't think they'll be cannibalizing each other's sales. You know, Walking Dead fans and VR fans, period, are going to be buying both of these as long as they both turn out to be good. But I kind of think that was sort of their initial, the reason why we had such an early release date for this one was that you don't want to cannibalize your sales by competing with another VR Walking Dead game. You know, we've got to get this one out soon so we can give it some time to have some sales and let people play it before the next one comes out. But fuck it, man. You know, like Ryan said, always wait for a good game.
You know what's awesome though? I mean, yeah, people would be super disappointed if Onslaught turned out bad. I think Your Long Shadows, the best thing about having the Walking Dead franchise is that people are emotionally invested in the universe, not just zombie killing. They need some story and some reference points, not just animated character hands. Yeah, I think that's really, really important that they get these games right, because there's going to be a lot of eyes on them, and this is a breakthrough moment chance for them. Ryan, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, I think they were trying to maybe push this out in time for the season premiere of this season of Walking Dead. And unlike the Saints and Sinners is based off the comic books. So while the characters obviously overlap, they don't look the same. Whereas this one, this is based off the AMC show. So I think they were trying really hard to get that out in tandem with that. And
which
then
just
obviously,
started.
Yeah, and I think they obviously couldn't make that date. We're like, well, you know, whatever. We'll just have to take our time and actually make it proper. So I'm down for that.
Yeah, I think that's going to work out for the best for them. It's not like people are going to be not thinking about The Walking Dead if the season ends, or, you know, people are going to want more Walking Dead when the season ends, you know, unless they, just completely fumble the story or something. But
Stephen Cardwell says, I'm so leery of Walking Dead games at this point. And I'm trying to think. I'm like, I know I played almost all the Telltale ones, right? Which were
I skipped
awesome.
those, but those were good.
Those were great. But I
played a little bit.
But I do have the Walking Dead Survival Instincts. Is that what it was called on PS3?
Yeah.
Ooh, that was horrible. Like really, really terrible. So hopefully this falls closer to the Telltale series. I know it's not in gameplay at all, but as far as fun factor goes.
Yeah, I mean that I skipped the Telltale ones. I played a little. Clementine and stuff. I played the first season or stuff, and it was pretty good. But that was like also based on the comic. But that arcade game I played was the shit. You had like a crossbow, and it's just a rail shooter like Time Crisis or something, but it's zombies and it's a crossbow, and it was a lot of fun.
Kyle PSVR says that is a nightmare. Survival instincts. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone out there who enjoyed that. All right, so what did they say? The what was the
just delayed to 2020? We know Sinners and Saints and Sinners is going to be coming early January, I think, middle January. So we'll probably get a PSVR release date window, something around then, for if it is coming. In fact,
and I'm totally happy if they delay it for PS5. Like I love that we're starting to fill out next year, you know, with Xreal Games talking about their games and everything like that. I love that we're getting release dates for the current gen PSVR stuff. But man, like if you get something big, if you got a big project that you want to make sure it's right, by all means, you got my approval. Delay to PS5.
Yeah, totally. But I'm still happy for it. You know, if that game's going to run on the Quest, I imagine it could be pretty good on the PSVR. So I'm not
Saints
too
and
worried
Sinners is
about
going to be
that.
on the Quest.
Isn't it? I thought it was.
I mean, if it is, then by all means, fucking bring it to PS4.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Totally
if not, if it is a PC only, then yeah, I agree. But if it's a Quest game too, yeah, bring that shit over ASAP. But okay, so in other news, Bryan, you recently sat down with Secret Location, one of the best developer names I've ever heard, besides Stream Game Studios, of course. But sat down with Secret Location. They made Plasters of the Universe, and one of my personal favorite puzzle games of all time, Transpose. Totally underrated game. But yeah, they revealed something in this interview. You know, that was, by the way, I love that interview. That was actually one of my favorite ones you've done. And I think everybody that missed it should definitely go check it out, see some cool history behind them. But
sorry to interrupt you, AJ. The thing that makes each developer interview good or awesome or whatever is just the willingness of the people I'm interviewing to kind of let down their guard and talk about things openly. And I don't think I've ever had that more than I had it with Secret Location. When I get to just ask them a question and sit back for 5 minutes because they have this amazing, in-depth, awesome answer, you know, giving us like talking about things that you would never expect a developer to talk about, having a dark room where people who suffer from motion sickness go to recover and just lay down for part of the day. Like, I mean, these are the kind of like little in-depth things that you wouldn't expect to hear during an interview. And I fucking love Michael and Catherine for being able to talk about those things so freely. It really gave us a better understanding of Secret Location as a company. That's really respectable, I think. All right, back to you, AJ.
So during this interview, they pointed out something for all you Blasters of the Universe fans out there. They said that they are going to be releasing a multiplayer update for Blasters of the Universe. Now, since I can't remember, Bryan, did they tell you like any details how this was going to work?
They said it was going to be in arcades, right? And so, you know, we don't. It seems like simultaneous co-op, multiplayer action. Like but that's as far as the details went. You know, they weren't like, oh, it's going to be 4 players or 7 players or 10 players. It could very well just be 2 players. But it sounds like they're bringing it to arcades first, and then they're hoping, it sounds like, to get it to consoles after that. Or to PSVR.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about it. That's a fun game. I love how you can make all the different weapons and stuff. And Ryan, are you a fan? Blasters?
If you hate Blasters, just get rid of your headset. Blasters is amazing. As far as stationary wave shooters go, Blasters it's right there with Space Pirate Trainer is the 2 best stationary wave. They're both amazing. So Blasters is
Bullet
absolutely
Hell.
Yeah, it's crazy. Dodging all those, like it's nuts. I absolutely love Blasters.
I think Bullet Hell is the key word here. I think that's what made me like both of those games so much, both Blasters and Space Pirate Trainer, is the Bullet Hell dodging mechanic. Just 500 bullets coming your way and a little square space you gotta like little duck into. Really, really awesome. But yeah, multiplayer for Blasters of the Universe coming pretty. Did they give you a release window on that too?
No,
I didn't take any notes. I'm sorry. But Carlos Harrison is hyped. Says multiplayer for Blasters of the Universe. Yep. See, I knew some people missed that one, so that's why I wanted to include it today.
Dude, no one watches developer interviews. I put so much work into those things, and like 800 people watch them. I was like, what are the other 49,000 people on this channel doing? Nothing.
I don't know. They do have lives, unlike us, but
that's probably true.
But yeah, so okay, so we've got the release of Espire 1 tonight. And we're hearing mixed things right off the bat. It is available in Australia right now. I've got it pre-ordered, waiting for the midnight release.
It's out in the UK too, in Europe.
It's out in the
as far
UK
as the
now
chat's
as well.
concerned. They mentioned it earlier.
Okay, gotcha. And been hearing some mixed things that kind of have me worried. And there has been a pileup of issues going on over at Sony right now. To be honest with you, it's partly some on the devs, partly some on Sony certifications. And I'm fed up with it, man. I'm getting really fucking pissed off about a lot of issues that we've been running into. And forgive my French, but yeah, I woke up this morning and the first thing I hear is that it's out in Australia and that it has mandatory click turning and mandatory forced blinders.
Oh,
now, yes, on the PSVR version, not on the PCVR version. Now, Brian,
no,
refresh my memory.
Yes.
2 months ago, this game was delayed, maybe 3 months ago, once, and then it was delayed once again. And the reason was that they said, we have received some feedback and we would like to make some improvements going by this feedback. And so I don't know what this feedback was. I don't know who it was that told them this, but can you explain to me why they have said that the reason the forced blinders and click turning are there, mandatory click turning, mandatory forced blinders, something we despise around here. How did those still make it into the game, even though they've had 2 months to do these issues, work on these things?
You and
how
did
this happen, man?
Ryan, I think Ryan has an answer.
It's the wrong build. I guess Sony uploaded the wrong build for the game, is what they're saying.
What the fuck does that even mean?
How many times have we heard this?
What is a wrong build? How do you up wrong build?
We got it with that floaty space game co-op. What the heck is that one called?
Downward Spiral Horror Station, which, by the way,
Thank you.
never got the proper build uploaded.
That's true.
There
very true.
has never been an update. They said, oh, the game's not supposed to be out. This is the wrong build. This isn't the final version. Guess what? We never got a single fucking patch or an update for that game. So we got exactly what they gave us. I think this is corporate bullshit. I think that we're being lied to, and I think that somebody out there is like, oh yeah, this is an accident. But they're just fucking covering their tracks.
So Strange Game Studio says usually forced blinders and quick click turning is used to get through VR console, which is what I assume. But can you explain to me?
No.
So I'm so fucking. This ruined my morning. I was so mad this morning. I was in the Discord. They said that I was like, guys, I got to leave the Discord, and I left. I actually had to go to work to feel better about what's been going on with Sony lately and stuff. And guys, just so you know, like I'm a Sony PlayStation fan since 1995. I've had every console, played over thousands of hours, like hundreds of different games.
We've all seen your fucking resume, AJ. Go on, come on.
Yeah, it's yeah. But yeah. So I'm saying this out of love and hurt and pain. I'm hurt emotionally because, to be honest with you, there's a lot of stuff going on right now with the competition, and I think competition is great for PlayStation. But we can't even seem to release games on the right fucking day. So it's like this certification and everything, this certification process, yes, it's supposed to be there to help people that get sick and stuff. Yes, I totally agree. That's totally fine. But what is it that is causing games to be released with, okay, so maybe just breathe a little for a second. Since about 6 months ago or so, however many longer, Scraper came out. Scraper First Strike came out. There's been games releasing in different regions at different times, and they're saying stuff like, oh, the paperwork is we filled out the paperwork for this. The paperwork for here is different. And so every time one of these games gets delayed, there's all this hype for it, and then we have all these fucking issues with the game, and then it doesn't get released in other regions. People can't even buy Contagion in Australia and the EU right now because of paperwork. I mean, what is going on with this process? I tried to trust this process, Sony. I tried to trust this process for you, but you have failed me, and you're failing the world. And right now, other consoles or PC and stuff are getting some excellent games. This has been a stellar month, but you wouldn't even notice because all the fucking games are spread out everywhere. There's some games still not even available yet. Golem was supposed to release on Golem got like delayed like a few times. It was then supposed to release on Tuesday. It released on last Friday for a different price point than what it was originally mentioned. A different price point, different release date. Even the Curious Tale of Stolen Pets, Apex Construct, they have been, Fast Travel Games, they've been all over their shit. Like, they have on top of everything. And they have been saying, they're like, oh, our game is going to be coming out Wednesday. Join us for our AMA planning this shit. Their game comes out Tuesday. And what's funny about that is actually when I live streamed it, I was thinking that, when it came out, I was like, this game's coming out Tuesday. And like I saw Fast Travel say this game's coming out Wednesday. And like, it's like, no, I was fucking right. And I didn't even know. I mean, what is with all these games coming out? Why can't they get the release dates down? What is happening here? Espire 1 pops up out of nowhere on the PlayStation Store. They say, oh, it's not coming out this week. Oh, well, guess again. It is coming out this week. It's confirmed for tonight at midnight if you pre-order it. I just don't fucking get it, man. Like Sony, I love you, but I am calling you the fuck out right now. Please get your shit together with the certification process. Please stop hurting these games because you're hurting yourself. You're hurting the community. There's so many good games this month, and you are fucking shit up for everybody. Pardon my language. I probably shouldn't be cussing so much, but God damn it, I really needed to get that off my chest. Thank you guys for listening. I can breathe now.
I mean, I can explain why it all happens, but your point still stands. It's an absolute mess. I mean, even to Espire 1 point, it was available or in the store for like a release a week ago in the France store. I remember some guys on Reddit were just like my French store says it's coming out in like 1 week, and Canada had it as like June 2020. Like the release dates on these stores are all over the map. Yeah, there's definitely a huge whatever happens behind the scenes. I'm not sure, but the way these regions communicate is absolutely crazy. The fact that the EU certification process is completely different from the North American process, and that you have to, one might pass in North America, but then fail in EU. And these developers don't get to know until it's like the day of. And then, I've heard it from many developers who just say, the game passed in the EU, no problem. Did it in the North American store. They found a bug. We have to go back and fix this. I mean, and that's kind of the trouble with developing these games is there's, you can play a game, Apex Construct. I think I hit every bug in that game when I played it. I gave it a 5 out of 10 or a 5 out of 10. I hit every single bug on multiple plays.
Thank you. I was just talking about the jankiness and stuff last week, and everyone was like, what bugs and jank? I'm like, you guys didn't experience one thing? Because I had a lot of issues the first time I tried to play that game.
I had 3 game-breaking bugs. One, I actually found the workaround. I asked the devs, Fast Travel, and they were like, yeah, we have no workaround. I ended up playing the game for like half an hour until I found a workaround. And I finally beat it.
And that's going to be Diz the Game Cat. $4.99 donation says, was going to take a nap after GAMESCAST so I could get up and play Espire 1. Now AJ got me all fired up and I don't want to anymore. I feel you, dude. I was going to stream it tonight. I don't even want to stream Espire 1 anymore. I'm contemplating just going back to Deemo and just playing that and letting them, even though I spent my money already on it, I might just let them go ahead and fucking wait for this. I got to wait for the right build of the game, apparently, to hit the PlayStation Store. So, sorry to cut you off, Grid. Please continue. But thank you, Diz. I love you.
I think I messed up the whole thing here. Should I leave? It looks weird on the stream.
You stick around. I'll fix the text.
Okay.
Somehow.
Yeah, no, I mean, if I were to have certified Apex, I wouldn't have certified Apex Construct. The version I played, the game I played, even post patch when they fixed all the game breaking bugs, I still encountered a game breaking bug. And like I said, many people love the game. Like I want to actually revisit it because I'm pretty sure I just experienced the wrong stuff at every turn. But I wouldn't that game shouldn't have been on the store at that time from what I played. I mean, and it seems to be that's how it is. Like one person gets the right way to play the game, and then boom, they get the certification. They're good to go. Meanwhile, over on the other side of the world, someone's like, "Oh, found a bug," and then you get these huge giant windows where these devs want their game out at a certain time. They still force it out in one region, try to patch it for the next region, and it just creates this massive cluster. I'm not sure who at Sony is coordinating this stuff. You'd think there would be better coordination. I'm with you, AJ. It makes no sense to have these things release Like
how is this happening, man? How is this happening to where, and it's fucking embarrassing, especially when PC VR and Quest is absolutely crushing it right now. We need all the help we can get. We need all this momentum going into PS5. And it's like I said, there are some great games that have come out this month. Of course, little tiny issues, which really sucks. I do wish more developers would be like Strange Game Studios, would be like some other developers. There are certain developers that even reach out to me and say, "Hey, can you play test this and make sure give me some feedback." Like, I'm not saying that everybody needs to do that, but like, God, do you not watch any reviews? Do you not watch like any other games? Literally, Golem came out a week ago, and you have no idea what people are saying about like the comfort options and stuff. I mean, granted, DigitalOcean did say that this was a mistake and stuff, but it's just like I just see this over and over and over and over and over for the last 6 months. It's been whatever change is happening over there. It's been going on for the last couple months, and it's driving me up the fucking wall. Like, because I'm expecting something different each time. And meanwhile, we get Reborn Samurai on the day it's supposed to release, and Warzone on the day it's supposed to release, and it actually passes certification, no issues. It's on both stores, whatever. Like, how the fuck? Like, what is going on, man? It's just driving me fucking crazy.
Dave, you hitting that thing? You're muted.
No.
Dave, you're muted.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Dave.
Still can't hear you. No. Oh no! Oh, he hit it, and that's for Coco the Poop Cat Dog. It's a $5 donation. That's a $5 for one of you to take your shirt off. Another $5 if you actually do. Dave, are you on top of this? I know you can't. Yeah, there we go. We're taking clothes off here.
Oh my God!
There we go. Hey Coco, is it $5? Wow. Is it $5 each? if all of us do it,
man. This thing just got sideways.
This just turned into a strip show.
Yeah.
Nice. Dude, there's a part of me that's like, obviously, so Sony doesn't have their shit together as far as this whole certification thing goes. But the point of it, and I get the whole motion sickness thing, but the point of it is to be delivering games that are a little bit more polished than the PC side of things, where they're getting, things that would have fucking janky frame rates. But when things go south, like we were talking to Anna Ribeiro about Pixel Ripped, and they failed certification one of their times because the frame rate dropped during a loading screen. I was like, what in the fuck is going on? You can't fail certification for a fucking frozen loading screen. That's where people who are in the position of passing these things and failing these things are in the wrong position. They don't know why they're doing the things that they're doing. They're like, oh, well, the frame rate dropped even though it's not during gameplay. You fail. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. And so, if that's if something like a loading screen is causing delays, well then, fucking ridiculous. I don't know.
It's amazing to me how much we hear how like critical they are on certain things. Yet I've played so many games that release with so many bugs and issues.
Yep.
It's. I mean, I gotta say it, man. It's like a circus over there right now. And I get it. I'm really
can you guys hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah. But we can't see you.
God, yeah.
And that's going to be another $5 donation from Coco the Poop Cat Dog. Meow. Says friggin' wins.
Thank you
so,
very much.
Guys, look, I don't want to end this on a negative note, this rant. I'm hoping that right now there's a shuffle going on. There's a new Sony Worldwide president of Sony Worldwide Studios. We know Shuhei is now in a new position working with independent developers. I have no idea if he's going to be working with what that means for VR. Bryan and I talk about this all the time. We think maybe that there are people that are not usually in this position to handle these tasks are now handling these tasks. We don't really know what's going on behind the scenes over there, but what we do know is that they're squandering a lot of amazing opportunities to push where there should have been trailers. Like, first of all, Golem should have listened to the community about the movement system, should have looked at some other reviews. Look at some other reviews, watch reviews. You've got Without Parole here. You've got the VR Grid. You've got Polish Paul. You've got Shughead Gaming. You've got all these amazing reviewers out here, like giving up, sacrificing their time, their money, their effort so that people can be informed. And you're not even you being a games developer, you would think you would want to go look at some of these reviews, go to Reddit, go to forums and stuff. It's everywhere. The information you need is absolutely everywhere. Take advantage of this instead of just thinking you've got all the answers yourself. There's been a couple lucky ones, like No Man's Sky. I think No Man's Sky got really lucky getting that. It just nailed. There was bugs and stuff, but that's normal. But
I mean, from what I've heard, when people interview developers and stuff, it seems like a lot of the time they're kind of in a silo where it's like we're not seeing the other games that are getting made because we're spending so much time and effort focusing on our game. And like, if you started development that far back, you've got some ideas about VR movement and, you know, VR comfort that maybe are a little antiquated or maybe a lot antiquated. And, you know, you're that far into development, you're not looking for reasons to go back and start from scratch with your whole thing either. So I think they thought it would work and we told them it didn't, and now they're going to fix it. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it sucks, man. You know, I think at a certain point, developers are like, we just need to get our game out. We need to get our game out, and we'll see what the public reaction is, and then and if it's, you know, what we expect from hearing people like me rant. Before I even played the game, I was pissed off about the control scheme in Golem. Before I even played the game, I was pissed off that they weren't listening to the community. Yeah. And of course, you know, that came with my caveat of hey, you know, I haven't played your game. So like I might be talking out of my ass right now, but as it turns out, I wasn't talking out of my ass, right? It's like I've played 400 PlayStation VR games. It's like I guess I kind of know what I'm talking about at this point.
Yeah,
you know. So
if anyone wants to hire us as VR consultants on your next game,
absolutely, man.
I don't want any part of that shit. I don't want any. I make fun of
anyone wants to hire anyone but Bryan.
I make fun of AJ all the time. I was like, because all he's doing is bug testing games for people. I'm like, I'm a fucking reviewer. Give me the final product and let me review the final product. And AJ's like, let me fix your game for you. And I was like, that's not my job. I'm not on your goddamn fucking payroll. Right?
I feel like you single-handedly saved Vertigo home, AJ.
I love.
Did he?
I love.
No, but I mean the pricing.
I used to sit down and fill out forms for Squaresoft. Remember them? I used to fill out forms when I was like a little kid to them every single day trying to get a job, and I never got one. So I'm living a dream. When I get to play test your game, I mean, yeah, eventually I would love to do it with a paycheck behind it, but hell, right now I'm having fun just doing it for free. Also, Nicholas Prey says, with AJ Without Parole, says Sony is currently restructuring everything. Only one worldwide PlayStation instance, and not like 3 like today.
That's a good idea.
This complicated.
That's a really good idea.
So the future would be better. That kind of is what, you know, after that recent interview with Jim Ryan, where they said they're trying to bring all the stores into under one name, under one region. Like, so you just go to the thing, and you know, so that's what my hope is. And I assume that, you know, it's just, but they're not telling us this though. We're having to figure this out ourselves. And that's what's the most infuriating is we shouldn't be, you know, they need to just come out and say like, you know, there are some things that may happen during this time or stuff, but you know, we just don't hear anything. Meanwhile, we get a PlayStation VR commercial that doesn't even show any PlayStation VR games. No Golem. It's got a dude in a trunk and stuff, and a dude falling from the sky. No Golem.
I liked
Demo.
that part with the people in the trunk, though, because
but like,
okay, go ahead.
Like Rhodey said, that was more like a trailer for PSVR owners currently. That trailer's not selling anyone. By the way, that was an Everybody's Golf and Blood and Truth bundle trailer. I would have never known because the only game reference I saw in there was Skyrim. So I don't know. Dave, I'm going to need you to rapid fire.
I got 3 in a row. There's the first one.
And that's Your Long Shadows with the 50 donation saying, yes, very fine, boys. And then Your Long Shadows with another 50 donation. I hope that wasn't.
I think that was an accident.
I hope that wasn't an accident.
Yeah. You get another one anyway.
And
we have your money now. So.
Very fine, boys. Thank you. We serve you. We serve you all. That is why we were here, is to give you guys a voice. You know, I didn't want to be in this position originally, but here I am. So I'm going to use this position for good and try to make a difference and impact on the future of our games, the future in any way we can. And I want to do the best I can. And, you know, I listen to you guys. I talk to you every single day. So I know what you guys do. But also, Coco, the poop cat dog.
Okay, hold on. I want to say that's all well and good, but are you willing to take your shirt off for PlayStation VR?
No, No, but you certainly were. You were willing to take your shirt off for
I did it, yeah.
$5 donation.
Well, with a $10 donation that actually became a $20 donation.
Yes.
So you're welcome, Brian.
Well played. Yes.
very much.
Happy sexy times. It says, might as well round up to 20. Love you guys. Love you too, Coco. Coco's the man. Coco's always playing a million games. I know I mentioned this a lot, but just in case you don't remember, Coco's always playing like every single game that comes out. So I have mad respect for Coco. Could practically be a reviewer. But okay, so
you know, AJ, you might be living your dream as a game tester, but I'm living my dream right now as a cast member of the Brady Bunch. This is the most ridiculous layout for any show ever.
Where am I?
Yeah, sorry guys, I didn't mean to throw a wrench in everything.
Wait, yeah, it's this way.
Yeah. All right, we got to move on. Enough of the
We
angry
gotta move
rant.
on. Yes, I hope you guys enjoyed the angry rant. I'm not having fun when it comes to this. Like it's
People were waiting for this angry rant.
I already
They were in the chat,
said
they were
twice
like,
enough times.
So ready. They knew.
So
it was
I'll let
coming.
you guys know. I'll let you guys know in the Discord. Brian and I are not sure if we're going to stream Aspire 1. I'm not even sure.
I am sure. I'm streaming at midnight.
You are streaming. So
Yeah,
I'm
it
going
is.
to go watch you because I'm not going to stream it or play it until it's got blinders and shit off.
I'm not going to buy it until that.
Yeah.
honestly.
Oh, if I didn't have it pre-ordered, I wouldn't bought it unless it had that. Like, because I'm just so sick of this, man. And look, I love you guys, Digitalo, Tripwire. You know, it's nothing against you personal. It's just like, you know, this game's already been delayed twice, and like, you know, this shouldn't happen, man. And I don't know if it's you or Sony, whoever, but you know, this can't. Like, I'm just tired of this. This is a really important time for us right now, and this is going to be probably like one of the weakest years. This is probably going to be the weakest year. Maybe not, because it's so cheap and that bundle's amazing. But marketing wise, this is the weakest year for PSVR during the holidays, and it's a critical time. Okay, so
as
next
far as your
time.
point there, real quick, and just the last word on this. You said you don't know if it's Sony or if it's the developers. I think there's an easy way to tell. If it comes out in one region when it's supposed to, but not in other regions, it's because there's some Sony paperwork that they forgot to file, because every Sony store has its own process for all that shit. If it's just delayed, then it's the developers most likely. So I think, you know, when we see that stuff where it's like, it was supposed to be out in the US, but we forgot to do this and we got to do this. So it's sort of the bureaucracy of it all kind of getting the games caught up in the wayside. So I don't know.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is I'm going to make a video dedicated to this because I don't want to see this anymore. It's going to talk about making sure that forced blinders are not a thing, that it's optional. I don't mind comfort options, just not forced comfort options, because that shit actually makes me more sick. That's why I get really frustrated about it.
Yeah,
it makes me more sick having click turning and having blinders than it does, thing. It just doesn't feel natural. So totally a video incoming about forced blinders, forced click turning, and then of course this regional mishap of like not knowing the right release dates, not knowing the right prices. So yeah.
There's
Little Witch Academia has recently.
God damn it! Is that a real news item that we're talking?
That is a real news item.
Go ahead.
And so a while back, a couple GamesCasts ago, that we were totally talking about a Kickstarter game that had popped up, and it's a game where it's anime inspired, and you ride on broomsticks and you race. It kind of looked like Eagle Flight, going through the rings and such. And it is called Little Witch Academia, and it actually smashed its Kickstarter. And now they have been saying that there is a release window for when they are going to be releasing this game, and it is planned for June of 2020. I liked Eagle Flight.
All right.
I like witches. I'm looking forward to this game.
It's funny, we haven't talked about it before, I don't think, but there is actually in the Japanese store a game where it's anime inspired and you ride as witches on brooms. I swear to God, it already exists. It's
Really?
not this one. Yeah, but it was really bad, and so it was short and expensive, and no one really talked about it. But when you were talking about this, I thought it was like a US release of that game, but it sounds like it's totally different. So
This looks bad too. Could be the same game. This game, the trailer they have on there looks so uninspired, I guess is the best way I can describe it. I know it's still not even, it's still 6 months away or 7 months away, but this did absolutely
like the game or not, though.
nothing. Yeah, I wasn't a big Eagle Flight fan. I thought that
What? Get out of here.
this to steer my bird
You're
was
off.
not how I want to play my game.
Oh my God, it was so
So,
fun.
no.
Anyways,
I loved it. I fucking loved Eagle Play.
I do think the control mechanic is a little ancient for VR. However, I think the entire story campaign and everything of the game was a lot of fun, and for that reason, I liked it. I'm not usually one to really like the head turning mechanic, but there was something funny. I think maybe it's just the bird beak or something that made that fun. But yeah, I don't know how this game is going to control though. If it's going to be like a moves, like are we going to be like having like the moves and stuff, or is it just going to be head turning?
So you hold it between your legs.
Well, I was going to say, did you play? Oh fuck, what's the game I'm thinking of? Where you ride the stick
Hop
horse
Along the
around?
Badlands?
Thank you very much. Hop Along the Badlands had me laughing from fucking beginning to end because I've got a move controller between my legs and I'm doing this in my living room. I'm like, that's about the most embarrassing thing you could ever do on a podcast.
Wait. You weren't required to put it between your legs, if I remember correctly.
David,
something you just decided to do for your own.
It's called immersion, Dave. Immersion.
I played the game the way they wanted me to play
it. When I play Reds, I put 8 move controllers all in my crotch.
Obviously.
And I just let them vibrate.
Yeah, I know. But dude, but even just if you're just doing this
you got
to move the horse, because which you do have to do, even if you don't put it between your legs. Too fucking funny, man. It's like too much fun. So like if this actually has you holding a broom and you gotta kind of maneuver with that, I'm totally down. It's like the goofier the better as far as I'm concerned, as long as it works well.
Dave, hit that thing for me real quick.
Ooh, I got him.
And that's gonna be my man Aceville, or as my speech to chat like to say, a civile. That's going to be Aceville, the attack cat. It sounds like some attack dogs or something. With the $4.99 donation, says, I rarely buy games on day one just for this reason. It's become a real problem punishing day one biggest fans. I'm not buying Golem till the patch. I'm right here with you, man. I totally support you. Definitely, Golem is amazing. I absolutely love that game. We're actually going to talk about it a little bit more before we leave today, but yeah, wait for the patch because you'll have 110% better experience with the new movement that I'm going to talk about soon.
Yep.
But yes, continue, Dave.
Oh, what was I saying?
Were you the one talking?
It was like 17 minutes ago. What? Like
I don't think I was talking. I'm pretty sure I wasn't talking.
All right, let's move on. What's the next news story?
Okay, Little Witch Academia. Yeah, I hope it's good. The anime style would be really cool.
Yeah.
Tetris Effect
is
getting a. What?
Just say Jesus Christ. What's wrong with Tetris Effect?
Well, do you know the news story? Do you know the news story we're about to bring up?
Yeah.
Besides that, we got a free theme.
So Tetris Effect is getting a limited run release that starts, I think, November 22nd. Starts tomorrow, and it's going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern, and it's going to last for about 4 weeks. And with this Tetris Effect release, also they are releasing a vinyl for the soundtrack of Tetris Effect,
which is very cool.
Now,
there's actually 2 separate. So I do know this news story. There's one that's 2 vinyls, and it's 17 songs. That's like a selected best. If you want to pay a shitload of money, you can get
$100.
five vinyls, which is the
collection.
entire 40-song soundtrack. But either way, you get the full download of the soundtrack digitally, even if you buy the smaller one.
So here's where I get upset. I love limited run games, right? I'm like, I've got a stupid amount of limited run games just littering my apartment.
Oh, I've fucking seen them. You got way too many.
I had to cut myself off at a certain point. I was buying games I'd never even heard of just because I was like, they're limited run. I'm going to buy the limited run version. So like a year ago, I had to cut myself off. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. I can't do this anymore. But I still buy all the PSVR things that come out. So I was like, oh, Tetris Effect, sweet. And I was like, wait a minute. I own Tetris Effect physically, because it came out physically.
right.
And so
because it was a flat game.
But well, yeah, that too. And but here we are. Limited run games we're going to release Tetris Effect as a limited run, which they're doing their pre-order system, which is basically an unlimited number. But they're just going to make enough to honor the pre-order. So it's not like there's only 1,500 coming out. It's hey. Over the next 4 weeks, we're going to sell 20,000 copies of this game, and we're going to manufacture 20,000 copies. And the only difference is that it has a somewhat, a little bit of a variant on the cover. Like I think it's like a gold inlay or something. And all the patches are going to be on disc. And as far as I'm concerned, I was like, that's such a waste. I'm like, it just seems so ridiculous to put out a game that's already out and then call it a limited run game where it doesn't have any kind of limited run.
I think the big thing is really just if you want the vinyl, if you want the soundtrack.
But that's separate.
If you already own the game, yeah, no, I know it's separate. But if somebody has never bought it before and just decided out of nowhere, hey, I'm finally, this is a small market, obviously, but finally going to take the plunge on Tetris Effect. It's nice to have the option, and for collectors, like people who love this game, because there are people who fucking love this game.
Yeah,
I'm one of them. I'm not going to pay for it again, but
well, same, right?
Yeah, but there's somebody out there who wants it.
Yep. I just don't want this to be a trend with limited run games. It's like they're special because they're actually limited runs of games that were previously only digital versions. And this isn't this is very not special at all. I think the vinyls look very cool. I'm even tempted to get the Perfect Collection, but I'm not going to because it's way too expensive. But yeah, no. But this is where I say absolutely not. I already have this game on disc. I do not need another copy of this game on disc.
Yeah, man. So in the final news of the night, speaking of Golem and force blinders and horrible movement schemes and all this stuff. So like I said, I absolutely loved Golem. I really did. But it does have some issues with the movement. The gameplay, everything, tracking is fine. The world is amazing. Story was pretty good. Music, excellent. Everything, all the above. But that movement scheme was not very good. And like I said, so they are going to be releasing a patch that will allow you to use the DualShock freely without any head turning thing. They're going to be putting in smooth turning. What's funny? This game actually, the click turning kind of went under people's radar in this game. And I don't know if it's because the movement was such an issue that nobody even noticed, or if because you're controlling this big like lumbering golem that when it blinks, it actually felt like a big golem like eyelids that kind of like closed when you move. So, but I'm definitely more happy that it has click turning, smooth turning coming. But yeah, they're going to take away the mandatory click turning. They're going to give you just basically more options, and they're going to add navigation controller support, which I don't really care. I don't. I have a DualShock 4, so
it's always fun to have nav support, though. I mean, it's less awkward than if you have it there. It's less awkward than holding a DualShock 4 and just using the left side of it.
Right.
Absolutely. The DS4 for me, that's the way I played. It's still not comfortable. Like it still feels weird to have that in your hand, just to use one thumbstick. And as far as the blinders go, I totally noticed that. I mean, every time you turn, it makes that like stone grinding sound, which just emphasized for me. That just emphasized the blinders. It was like, here's your blinders, and here's some sound effects to go with your blinders.
Right.
It kind of to me was kind of defeatist. As a guy who's currently trying to platinum Golem.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why.
I think AJ did it already, right?
I would seriously wait for the patch, dude. My neck. That's the thing. When I got through the game, I was like, this is fine. I got used to it. It took me a while to get used to it, but then I beat the game. I was like, but when you're walking around that city looking for collectibles, and you have to like do this the entire time, and like the way you move and tilt your head, after a while, it hurts, man. And I've played a lot of PSVR games for extended amounts of time. I've played Firewall for 18 hours. Of course, I take breaks like every 2 hours or so, but 18 hours in a day. Preda for 18 hours in a day. No pain, no nothing.
Well, yeah.
And
that's also because you're a madman, but
I have a video game addiction.
Go ahead. Yeah.
But
the same AJ, I'm going to cut you off here and agree with you 100%, because after I beat the game, I had no real comfort problems. I experienced no sim sickness, none of that jazz, and I didn't feel uncomfortable physically while I played through the campaign. But you're right. After the fact, when I was searching for all the little secrets and looking at every different cranny, after 2.5, 3 hours, my neck was sore for 2 days, and it's just this mechanic of moving, and that goes to the actual comfort things, where the second you look off the beaten path, your golem stops walking forward, slows down, or stops entirely. It's all these poor choices in mechanics that I'm so glad they're fixing. I was talking to Howard Games about this, and they said, we spent 4 years building this game. We're not going to give up after 72 hours. So they very much are listening to the feedback. It would be nice if they would have listened to the feedback before the game released, just knowing how VR has changed in the last 3 years. But it's coming, and I'm not playing the game again until they patch it, because the patch will basically make it the game it should be.
Yeah. And I feel like the thing about Golem too is like, I don't know, we talk about Oh fuck! I totally. I'm sorry. I've never spaced in the middle of starting a thing before, but I just spaced. Go ahead.
Okay,
Continue. I'll think of it later.
Now you know how I feel 24/7, Dave. It's like
God
constant.
damn it. I need some of that Dunkin' Donuts you got, Brian.
I really got to commend Highwire Games for taking in this feedback. The sad part is, though, I don't think this was like, we just want to give you what you deserve in your games. I think this was a reflection of the performance of how it did sales-wise. I think maybe they know that, after getting all the reviews, I even said on the last viewer takeover, it's like, I'm just so amazed that you would think that you would want to, if you're investing so much time and effort, one of the easiest things you can do is to take just a little bit of time to read the Reddit forums, read Without Parole reviews, or just YouTuber reviews, and get a pulse for the community. These are the people that are buying your products every single day and playing them. And yes, it's great to bring in new people as well, which we want to do. But, like I said, I think this was more of a reflection of like that 4 out of 10 from Push Square, which is completely bogus. But, it's just, it's a bad mechanic. It is for sure. And, I really hope that, people reward them for making these changes in this game. I think you should, because I think it's still a fantastic game.
Yeah, I remembered what I was going to say. It's just a minor thing, but the fact that when you move your head while you're walking, you start going wherever you're looking, it's such a beautiful game that you want to look at everything while you're walking around, and that's usually
the point
something.
of VR.
Yes, you can do that all the time in VR.
Right.
You're walking straight, and you can turn your head around, and your guy keeps walking straight. Doesn't go in some corner over there because you look there.
Right.
And that sort of makes it harder to actually appreciate what they've done, because you can't look at it while you're walking around. You have to keep your head on a fucking straight line. And
other
I'm
games
really
have done
looking forward
this.
to that change.
There are plenty of other games that have mandatory head turning, right? And it's just, but it's not. But the movement speed is faster, and you can kind of compensate because you're either holding a move controller. So many games have mandatory head turning, but I don't even notice because I compensate constantly. If I'm looking this way, then I'm turning my move controller slightly this way, so I can kind of do both at the same time, right? You can compensate for that stuff, but Golem doesn't allow you to compensate, and I think that's why we notice it more. Plus, you're walking so slow, and there are these collectibles, and if you look down at your feet, you stop walking. It's like, no, dude, I have so far to walk. Like, I got to keep moving. Don't stop me just because I look down at my feet. Why do I even fucking have feet if I can't look at them? Right?
I think Grid. Grid. Did you say that in your review? I think
I said the exact same thing. I was like, why map a body game if you can't look at your body? Like,
that's
take
hilarious.
It out. Like,
nice.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you have this. I didn't even know until I watched the VR Grids review, and I looked down and I was like, holy shit, there is a body. Like, I would have never known. It's just crazy, man. It's so intuitive or whatever, but just crazy. But really glad to see that they're getting rid of all this stuff. Like I said, once they do, even at $40, I could recommend it. Even at $40.
I don't remember all the patch notes, AJ, but are they going to allow you to scan the environments while walking? Is that?
I don't think I read anything about that, but that is definitely that we need, because
if they did that, I would be all over it. I'd be like, okay, this has gone from a top 20 game to a top 10 game.
Right. Part of the collectibles is scanning, but when you do that, it does make you stop. So if you could be walking and be scanning around looking for stuff, that would be great, because that's going to be something that people do need. I will send them an email, sir.
There you go.
go.
Now, he might be
the
unpaid bug tester. Yeah. He might be biased, but Corix the Game Cat says Corix has no bugs.
Corix challenged the Corix developers, so I think he's earned the name Corix the Game Cat. He actually challenged them and played versus them.
Nice.
And I did forget one of his aliases recently, and I think it was
can't keep up.
I don't remember, but I did forget one of them. But so, guys, that pretty much wraps it up. Ryan,
what do you mean? It's only been 2.5 hours. We must have more stuff
Ryan,
to talk about, right?
Do give us tell us where we can find you at. Plug some of your stuff. Where can people find the VR Grid?
I mean, I'm the VR Grid. Besides doing this whole YouTube thing, I also have the VRGrid.com. If you'd like to read reviews, I put that stuff there. You can find me anywhere on social media. I'm the VR Grid. I'm a little without parole. I'm not quite as big as you guys, but I'm getting there. And I love VR. I play PC VR. I play PSVR. I absolutely love it. As much as we rant about stuff and hate on some stuff, it's because we are so passionate and love it so much. We just want it to be the best it can be. And that's where I come from in everything I do as far as VR goes. And I can't wait to stop doing this so I can play something else in VR. I love it.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Davestation, where can we find you?
On YouTube, the same place I've always been.
Do you even know what YouTube is? Are you sure?
Yeah, I've been here a few times. But it sounds like Ryan cannot wait to get off this show. So thanks for joining us.
That's not what I meant.
Yeah, Brian, you want to take us home?
Yeah, let's just do a little bit of housekeeping before we get out of here. I want to thank, special thanks to J-Dow, J-Meow, Justin Sadowski, who sent us that awesome congratulations on the 50K video that we interspersed in the middle of this Gamescast. But also on that video, I want to thank Rody, Gabriel, Belramio, Bob Zarkov, the Game Cat, Kev Gret, Hack BMX, Cloaked Reaper, sorry, I can't pronounce words, Rypop, Nick Mulo, Orseek, Mikey Sensei, Mr. Sonic, Madman Black, the Game Cat, that guy as well, and of course, Desra, who all participated in that video. All of this happened behind my back. Did not know any of this was coming until Jay sent me the video last night. He said, promise me you don't watch this until it airs live. I had to watch it before the show because things don't sync up like that. But I do fucking love each and every one of you. And I love every single one of the 50,000. You guys are all amazing. This has been such a awesome ride so far. Hopefully we get to 100,000 before I burn out and fade away and never seen from again. But fingers crossed on that. So thank you very much, everybody. Make sure you join our Discord server where this conversation that we've been having with you guys in the comments happens non-stop 24/7. Click the link in the description. Ryan, thank you very much for filling in during Dave's absence and then staying here.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
When the Brady Bunch show started.
You're welcome.
That's great.
All right, guys, let's get out of here. It has been a very long show, and I will be streaming Espire 1 at midnight, so tune into that. I can't wait to see the comment after comment after comment of people going, why is click turning on? Why are blinders on?
What game is this? Does this have aim support? How much does it cost?
Right?
Is this out right now?
Right. I live in the EU. Why doesn't this exist yet? Right? Good question, Sony. It's a very good question.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, thank you for all the donations. Thank you for everybody in the chat. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Ryan. My name is Brian. This was PSVR Gamescast Live, and we're out.
Well, thank you so much,
right.
Just Incredible VR, Corks,
real
the Game
quick.
Cat.
Wait.
Great. Wait.
AJ, slow down. Let's give Ryan a chance to tell a weird story or just some kind of non sequitur at the end of the show here, because that's your thing usually. But
here's
Ryan,
a
what happened to you
story
today? Anything interesting?
From a man named Bryan.
I'm on the spot and I got nothing for you, man. I'm sorry. I'm trying to play.
You're Canadian.
Sick as a dog right now.
He's Canadian, I can tell.
Do you like
I'm
coffee
sorry.
crisps? You like coffee crisps?
I do like coffee crisps. They're great.
Pretty good.
You know,
How about
we-
all dressed chips?
All dressed chips are terrible. They have the worst chip on the planet.
What does all dressed chips mean?
It means it's got everything.
They were at the Game Cat meetup.
I don't pay attention to people talking.
It was like a chip that was like ketchup, mustard, salsa, like everything all together.
It's like a fully loaded baked potato.
So it's got wasabi.
It's trash. It's a trash chip.
Trash chip. That sounds terrible.
You're gonna start a fight with the Rypop over there because he's a big fan of the.
It's awful. Same with Cool Ranch Doritos. Those can die.
What?
You got a lot of hot takes here.
A lot of hot takes.
Let's talk chips, boys. Let's talk chip.
Act the Game Cat, Aceville, the Attack Cat, Johnny Rypop, the Stray Cat, Kyle PSVR, We're Gaming, Ash VR, good night. Tyson, fist bump to you. That guy is Will. Thank you so much, Rody, the Game Cat God. Thank you guys, Johnny Ryan Pop. You got cold yogurt? I always got to say it like that.
Love it.
Paper Wings, the Game Cat. Let's go all day, play day. Oh, that's a good idea. Corix, later, man, with the little kitty sign. JB, Decepticon. Oh, yeah. Gabucha. Gabriel, 004. JD Meowks. What's up, my dude? Zach,
what's up, JD?
Long Shadows. Nick Mulo, Big Fat Frog. That's my dude. Also got to meet him. Defiant Renegade. Thank you all so much. Love you guys.
Now, real quick, Ryan, you just lost a sub over this take on all dressed chips. I'm telling you, Nick is no longer watching your videos ever again.
I don't want that all dressed loving bastard watching my stuff anyways.